All right, I'm in the
that
button.
muscle memory.
I'm in the button. Oh shit. I think we're good. As I snap and turn on the energy button. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to RDX. What is this? Okay. I wanted to make sure that email wasn't something horrible from YouTube. Okay, so yeah, welcome back to RDX Weirdo Xbox Podcast. Thank you so much for joining us, guys. Again, we've got a great guest. If you don't follow me on Twitter, we do have Jeff Grubb on the show this week. We've also got the regular old panel members, which are some of the best people in the universe. We're going to do some introductions, some shout-outs, and then we are going to, we're going to talk about some, anything happened today at all, or last couple days or anything? Nothing? Kind of a slow week, right?
Nah, nothing.
No.
Nothing.
No.
Okay, perfect.
Nothing that we can, go out and write about.
Oh, wait, you're talking about Xbox news? Yeah, we got stuff.
Oh, yeah.
PlayStation's been pretty dry.
Okay. Well, I mean, obviously, there's been a lot that's happened, and I can't wait to get into all that stuff. But again, chat, shout out to you. Thanks for joining us live. Shout out to the 40 to 60,000 that will check it out next week. And, maybe hit the like button, tell a buddy or two, and let us know your thoughts as we do move throughout topics. The first one's going to be huge. But again, Colt, thanks for joining. You're a panel member. You're kind of here every week, right? So go ahead and say hi to the chat.
Man, almost 4 years, actually.
It's nuts.
Well over 3.5 years. It's crazy. Yeah, hey, chat. Thanks for coming in and checking us out. It's been a good week, and, oh, man, it's going to be great topics.
Oh, boy. Hey, Fonzarelli, hey, man.
Hey, good, man. I'm ready to get into all this stuff, man. It's going to be good.
Perfect.
Glad that Jeff's here, by the way.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Yeah, I've been talking to Jeff for a minute. We'll get to Jeff. Thanks, Jeff Grubb. Thanks for joining the show, man. Seriously.
Absolutely. No, I'm glad to be here. Thanks for having me on.
We talked like last year, holidays, everything was nuts. But again,
nonstop.
It's you're a podcasting machine, so we figured we'd get you on here and kind of let the chat introduce the chat to you, those that don't know, and I'm sure you'll add a lot to the discussion as well. Tim Dog, again, another week, brother. Welcome back.
Big week, a lot of news. Also, really cool to have Jeff here. He is pretty much the go-to journalist, in my opinion, for myself, for getting things right and no one having his ear to the ground and knowing what's coming up. So it's a real pleasure to have him here.
Thanks, man.
It is. And we've also got Zalker87, brother Haben.
Good, man. Glad to be here. There's a lot to talk about, man. Xbox just doesn't stop. Like, there's so much news. It's just insane how great it is. And Tim Dog, Jez hates you now. I'm just going to throw that out there. Jez hates you.
Oh, man, that's messed up. Hey, we need to get Jez back on your accent. I need to reach out to him. Seriously, that show, I mean, Jez is actually probably going to come up anyway.
Jez is great.
Yeah.
Jez is great, too.
But we've also got D-Batch, who's running late. He was out herding goats. Yeah, he was out herding goats. And and I think, Zalker, it's been so crazy because they got Phil Spencer back there on a magic, an exercise bike hooked up to a server, and he's just going. And when he stops, the news stops this week, apparently. It's been pretty insane. We can kind of start with my patron shout out here real quick, which again, shout out to these guys that help power everything that I do on the channel here. We've got, oh man, these are some new ones. Faultline Z. We've got Fierce Buzz. We've also got megalifecbd.com. Not Siley. I don't even know how to pronounce that. Slick. Okay. Let me know. DM me. Tyler Sanchez. Tyler Sanders. Alex Avery. Elk Dude YouTube. Bad Boy Live. Achievement. Nano Zoradin. Dr. Vortex. Costanza. Wayne. Scout Troop 74. KY Bob. Wakanda XNT. We've also got Goose 8402. Straw Hat Khalifa. Assassin Lupa, shout out to her. She's back on Twitter. So I've reached out to a few of you who have been asking me if she's okay.
Doing okay, Lupa.
Yeah, she's at least safe and stuff. So again, shout out to her. We hope we can give her the best wishes. Foreign Object, Gab Quisteo, John Blue, Beg Boss, Deviator X, Real Deal, Neo, Suicide King, Tasteless Genie, Michael Bowen, Guillermo Cavillo, and we've also got All Might Gaz, Dark CMF, and Alfonso Hogan. Thank you guys for what you do. Seriously, that's my shout out to you. You guys rock Bethesda. You rock Bethesda because what's the deal here? We talked about this last week. We said what we thought would happen. We've been talking about this for a while. Turns out they pretty much did exactly that. Primary suspicions were confirmed. And that is basically, hey, Phil Spencer came out and said some things about Bethesda regarding exclusivity, and he was very, very direct on this compared to how they've been in the past. Turns out they had no part in decision-making for the company up to that point, and, we know that event was recorded before the day it was broadcasted, but still, they are in full swing, essentially saying that everything that's not currently a PS5 deal or set for PS5, excluding legacy things, which we'll get into later, are going to be Microsoft ecosystem or xCloud Game Pass exclusive. And Fonz has got a few quotes. We'll get into our thoughts here, but go ahead and start with one of them, but the best one from Phil. Fonz.
Yeah. I'll start with the big one.
Yeah, I see it. I see it in the community. I listen to the podcasts and all the questions. So I'm going to try to be as clear as I can because that's what I just think it's fair. So obviously I can't sit here and say every Bethesda game is exclusive because we know that's not true. There's contractual obligations that we're going to see through, as we always do in every one of these instances. We have games that exist on other platforms, and we're going to go support those games on the platforms they're on. There's communities of players. We love those communities, and we'll continue to invest in them. And even in the future, there might be things that have either contractual things or legacy on different platforms that we'll go do. But if we're an Xbox customer, the thing I want you to know is this is about delivering great exclusive games for you that ship on platforms where Game Pass exists. And that's our goal. That's why we're doing this. That's the root of this partnership that we're building, and the creative capability we will be able to bring to market for our Xbox customers. It's going to be the best it's ever been for Xbox after we're done here.
Oh, shit. And now I got to say something, right? And I got to get Jeff's opinion on this. For one, to be that direct, bravo to Phil, because he said, we know he listens to the show and stuff, and tons of other podcasts, and for the most part, everyone's saying, hey, be transparent and tell us what you're going to do first and foremost. He pretty much did directly that. The only confusion being legacy titles, which again we'll explain later. That's not really all that confusing. Jeff, what were you thinking when he came out and confirmed this finally? Was there any shock, despite the fact that you might have had some insider stuff that are going on behind the scenes?
It wasn't too shocking. I think, God, we talked this topic to death, haven't we, over the last few months? Yep. It's just never stopped talking about it. So it's like, almost no matter what he said, we would have been like, okay, well, we understand where he's coming from. We all have talked through this a million different ways. So yeah, that makes sense. So when he came out and he basically just laid it down, like these games are going to be exclusive to Game Pass. That's the whole reason we did this. It's like, okay, that was the most obvious thing. You don't spend $7.5 billion to not start changing things up. Like that was like the easiest explanation, the easiest argument throughout this whole period. And he basically came out and said the same thing. Like I spent this money to change things, and the way we're going to change it is make these games exclusive to Game Pass. So to me, it just made a whole lot of sense. It seems like he wants to, make sure that this company, Bethesda, and all its developers can keep making games the way they always made games. And the way that makes sense is to funnel them right onto Game Pass. And to me, it was just a bunch of good news. Like, I'm glad that all those people at Bethesda are just going to keep having jobs, keep being able to make games. I was very happy to hear a lot of what he was saying.
I'm just glad Tencent or Google or someone else didn't get him.
Right? Yeah,
that's
what if Google bought him before they realized Stadia is a bad idea. Like that would have been pretty rough.
Yeah, I can't believe they didn't know it was a bad idea from the beginning. But yeah, I mean,
right? Everyone trying to tell them.
Good point. We've all died to death talking about this and what we've been hearing and what we think is going to happen. And it's one of the biggest acquisitions in gaming history. So this is more of a, hey, everyone out there that was talking shit, you know what to do. Well, last time we had Aaron on the show, Greenberg, he was talking about how, we're going to give these teams all the time they need to build these games. It don't matter if it's 5 years, right? They're going to maintain quality. So, again, Tim, I mean, we can kind of cut to some of the highlights and stuff. We don't even got to go over the quotes, really, but the highlights of the show, Tim, and kind of the thoughts and some of the things you were seeing out there on Twitter.
Well, I mean, listen, I was thinking they would do something like that, but I was nervous that they would drop the ball too at the same time. They've had a history of not handling these situations well, but they handled the best that they could have. It worked out because of the sum situation that built up hype over the next 2 days for the eventual, slam dunk announcement. And I was kind of taken back how thorough it was and how, open he was about it. You learned a little bit of stuff, like they weren't even talking about particulars until the deal was done, or they didn't really, they were just going on as they would for the longest time. But yeah, and from what I've heard, and I was kind of I didn't think that was. I heard the Bethesda guys are down with it too. So it was just a really good day for Xbox, a really good day for people who withstood the Xbox has no games type deal. It finally came to an end, and
now it's Xbox has no not buggy games. Though.
Now it's Xbox overloaded me with too many games, and I can't think anymore. But no, honestly, it was huge that they handled it the way they did it, and I think Jeff was great to follow during the whole thing. I think he even when the Sum comment came out, he mentioned how that he believes that it's possibly threading the needle, and I agreed with him the whole way. So following Jeff and a few others, I kind of did feel that they were going to go this route, but for them to just do it that way and get it handled the way they did, big kudos to them. And that's the way you do it. That's the handling. That's the way you got to talk to fans and be upfront and not tittle tally.
Yeah. Hey, by the way, we got a shout out to over 1,200 plus already watching this live, guys. Hit the like button, tell a buddy or two, retweet it on Twitter, do all this stuff, tell a friend, because you guys are amazing and you help us out a lot. So again, I'm trying to think of ways in real time to find this topic more interesting.
Well, let me jump in.
Go ahead, Zucker.
So, like, the number one thing I heard that he said is, we listen to the podcast, we listen to the fans, and everybody in chat. If you don't know this, and we've said it multiple times, they listen to this podcast. They listen to a lot of the Xbox podcasts because you can just tell.
They watch the chat.
No, and that's the point. You, the chat, they listen to you guys. They read what you say on here. They listen to us, and you can just tell by everything they talk about. They talk about backwards compatibility, something we talked about. Enhancing it for free, something we've talked about. Getting bigger games, third-party games on Game Pass day and date to actually make a dent in something. Wow, look what happened yesterday when they announced something.
Mm-hmm.
Outriders. And then they talk about like the exclusivity, which every Xbox podcast beat to death, but we've talked about it and said, we think it's going to be until like, the legacy titles. Bam, talks about that. You got to understand that like gamers' voices, it has power. And that's the number one thing I got is that Xbox actually listens to their damn fans.
Speaking of,
what other platform can you say does that? Be honest.
Yeah, I would say that that's the thing. That was also my big takeaway. Is that it seemed like it's not that they just listened; it's that they understood. I feel like they've listened a lot in the past, and I feel like they've also not necessarily seen through what they were hearing correctly. That they just didn't process it correctly.
Yeah.
And I think that's led to a few gaffes in the past with Xbox, where sure they're listening, but they didn't fully understand like how to act on that information. And here it seemed like okay, they were listening, and they also knew what we wanted to hear, what people wanted to see from them, and just coming out and answering that question right away about exclusivity. It's clear that they knew that people really cared about that question, and then they crafted the answer in such a way that it also felt like they understood like we need to actually follow through on this. So, and not to say that like Xbox has turned things around and they're never gonna make a goof again. They absolutely will, but I think I'm heartened by the idea that it seems like they at least will know how to correct quicker in the future and really and just kind of be better about this sort of thing in the future.
They got rid of the guy that was listening to all the podcasts before. They say, "Oh, great podcast yesterday, dealer. Oh, Xbox Live goes up $60. Like they got rid of that guy, and they got someone that actually is listening to the fans. So that's great.
Yeah. I agree with Jeff here, and they're a corporation. They're going to make those mistakes when it comes to the consumer versus corporate. But I think at the end of the day, what they're doing right now is very positive, and that's the thing to just go on here is the fact that they are doing something really cool. They're competing again, and it feels really good. And I had a conversation the other night with Greenberg, and I told him straight up, I said, you guys doing this, it's such a big, massive move that it almost feels like the 360 era where they were competing, you know, and doing that sort of stuff. And he agreed. He said, yeah, the team is feeling like it's sort of like the 360 era. So, you know,
Well,
it's
yeah.
really cool to see this.
And it's not just that, it's just you've seen people that are hardcore PlayStation fans or whoever, and it's like it doesn't matter what you are. Like just play games, right? Like, you know, we all have each system. It doesn't matter. But like a lot of people that, you know, are stubborn or just get annoyed or anything, they're even like, yo, after the Outriders announcement and then Bethesda, it's like you can't deny the value that's there. Even if you get a PC, you're going to be on the Xbox ecosystem with Game Pass. There's no reason why you shouldn't be.
Yeah.
And that's what Xbox is doing. Like they're just giving you no excuse. Like there's nothing you can like badmouth or get annoyed with. Like you're going to want to play Starfield. You're going to want to play all these games and then add the value of the third-party games coming to Game Pass. And you're just like, why wouldn't you? Doesn't make any sense. Like that was their target. Like, why wouldn't you? Not why would I? Why wouldn't you? That's the point.
Yeah, I don't see a negative. Surely.
No.
I mean, aside from some of the software stuff, which again, we know they're building a bunch of games right now. So really, I'm, you know.
I gotta say though, with this going into Game Pass, I might be a little bit harsh here, but they better make sure that this game is running up to speed on the Series X with it going.
Which game, Starfield?
No, I'm talking about Outriders. So we talking about the Game Pass, yeah. So the reason why I say that is because, you know, it's a beta, so we're not gonna judge it on the beta, right? So, or on the trial, whatever. But it was outperformed by a lesser capable system in that beta. So I hope that once it goes, now that it's going to Game Pass, that they really optimize it for the Series X so that at least it's not at a deficit when it's launched on that system. That's all I got to say on that. But I think it's awesome that it's going to Game Pass. I was caught off guard by that one. That one really took me for a spin, man. And I saw a lot of PlayStation guys saying, oh, crap, I guess that Game Pass really is good. And like, come on, now you're saying it's good. Like, it's always been a good service.
It's been good.
And when it takes a game like this to make them say that?
When they added EA Access, I thought that was the cherry on the top, you know? And now we're just seeing like third-party games coming day and date. And the service for the price that you're paying for it, it's just a no-brainer if you have an Xbox or if you're just into video games. You know, now they're bringing everything over to the PC. They're going to give them equal games. I just think it's a great service that's only going to grow and get bigger.
Facts. Yep. That's because it's true, D-Batch. It's real true. Well, I mean, again, they did kind of set the tone early. They did talk about the exclusivity. It was very clear. We all talked about that. Exclusive. And of course, they did also talk to Aaron. They talked to Todd Howard, and you know, Todd Howard wasn't forced into this. He basically accepted this role, and he's going to lead that team into development on something like Starfield. Whereas I personally think, you know, Fallout might go to a different studio. So you never know. It's one of those things where. Is there any other notable quotes there? They had Sarah Bond there. They had. Tim, do you think of any other notable things there that we should cover?
I don't know if this is
the legacy games. Explain these legacy games and what's up with that.
Well, from what I've taken away from that, that's like if Skyrim had a remaster or Fallout 76. I think that they detailed the Fallout 76 and the communities with that and Elder Scrolls Online. But my take was games that have already been out. I don't take it as games that are, you know, currently out that are like filling the trilogy, like Wolfenstein, let's take for example, or Elder Scrolls, because if that was the case, that kind of invalidates his whole statement from the beginning, because a lot of the games like Fallout 5, you know, Elder Scrolls, you can go on and on, are legacy. So and I know that that's not the case. So the legacy is kind of talking about like maybe let's say they did a Fallout you know, like an anniversary. They do an anniversary. Games that have released that might get remastered. But
let's ask Jeff what Phil means when he says legacy games, because that's one of those like legal loopholes that the fanboys are working with. Like, what does legacy mean? How does it work for my narrative? So, Jeff, what's he talking about there?
Tell us how it works for our narrative.
Yeah, so I'm just like processing like everyone else, but my guess there is like it was just a word he used. Phil doesn't speak in whole paragraphs, you know, like Phil's not a lawyer. Phil is not a person who has the entire thing that he's going to say in his head before he starts speaking. One of the reasons I really like him, I really like that about him. He speaks like a normal human, and so when he starts a sentence, he knows all of the beats that he's going to hit. When it comes out as just like, him doing his best to translate what's in his brain down to his mouth. And so I think when Legacy comes out, it is very easy, especially in print, to latch onto that and to suppose that means anything that has a legacy on another console's coming. But I think that is, he definitely did not say that. That's definitely not what he was trying to imply. And if he was trying to imply that, he would have said that explicitly. So when he says legacy, based on everything else he says, if Elder Scrolls 6 is not exclusive to Game Pass, I would be shocked. And I would be very shocked if it ended up on a PlayStation, because Legacy is just not doing that much lifting there. That's not what he meant by that. No. Instead, he very likely does mean stuff that is smaller, that is things that live services that are already existing on other platforms. Things like that. That's what he was actually probably talking about there.
Yeah, and I also think what he was talking about, because he said contract obligations, I think games like Indiana Jones are going to be coming to multiple platforms because they don't own. Yeah, that's because they don't own that license. It's owned by Lucas, right? Lucas Games or whatever it's called. So I think things like that, contracts like Lucas Games tells them, hey, we want it on everything. Like that's what that, because they own that IP, and that's what they signed the contract for. Kind of like MLB The Show. MLB told Sony, like, hey, we want this son of a bitch and everything. 420. Yep, coming.
I think the whole, what you have to take away with that whole legacy part is the fact that before he said that, he said straight up, I wish I could say all of the Bethesda games were exclusive. Then he goes into that and kind of just passes over it and says, but, and then he gives you that whole spiel about how all the future games, going forward will be, exclusive and stuff. It just makes sense. Like, you have to take the entire wording there, like the whole thing, the whole speech, and you got to take it, all of it.
Yeah, it's if Doom 64 hadn't come out yet, and Doom 64 was going to get its re-release, it would probably also come to Switch because of the Nintendo legacy there. That might be what that sort of thing. And, there's a lot of games under this umbrella. So he's probably just thinking about that level of like, oh, we're porting something that's old. And yeah, sure, go ahead. It's like literal legacy titles, not like legacy franchises. And then their sequels are going to end up on these other consoles.
And it was crystal clear to me.
Yeah, and I think he did it because, let's be real, like when we saw the Tomb Raider game go exclusive, like, is it coming to PlayStation? Is it coming to Play? I think they don't want to answer that question every single time at events or whatever.
That's a good point.
So he was trying to be as clear as possible with this stuff. And anybody that's trying to like wiggle around it, like just wait, like, or wait, or it's going to be exclusive. Starfield probably exclusive. All these other ones, exclusive, exactly.
Speaking of, somebody mentioned Outriders being a flop or something. Speaking of flop, this gameplay is a flop. Actually, this is horrible. I'll go ahead and work on that. So this is Hive Busters, by the way, running on Series X. And I wish we had this.
It looks like a dealer party running on Series X.
I think this is a dealer party.
The game on the fly.
Say what?
Can you throw other stuff in on the fly?
I think I can actually, but if I did, I feel like it would explode.
Don't mess with it. This is great.
Let's not ask dealer to
look,
do too
you
much.
you could read my friends list. Like, this is coveted, guys. But seriously,
you find out everybody's blocking on Xbox Live.
We do give a shout out again, and I'll stop the show and do it. I don't give a fuck. Hit the like button if you haven't. We do appreciate it. And again, thanks to Jeff Grubb joining us here, giving us some insight. Zach, you get a really good point. They don't want to have to sit here and say, look, Wolfenstein 7, yes, exclusive. It's still exclusive this year. Every single release, right?
Yep, you just said it, man. If the game's on, if your platform has Game Pass, you're gonna get these games. If not, the fuck out of here. No, it's just the way it is, right? And one of the things, it's not in the topics, but I wanted to bring it up. One of the things that like Phil talked about that he really geeked out about was about id Tech and the software that comes with
quote too, man. That's a good one.
So that like id Tech, he was talking about it. He mentioned like explicitly Halo and Gears for id Tech. Like he was like,
do you want to hear that quote real quick?
Go ahead.
Throw it up.
Go.
There's no studio that sweats every pixel on screen at every frame the way it does. Like, it's just so clear. And
it's like you spend time with them.
Spend time with the games, and it just pops. Like, it's so clear. And then when you think about their capability, and I think about them collaborating and working and talking with the Coalition and 343, and just like the first-person shooter, third-person shooter space that we have, the studios that are there. I think just kind of an amazing capability. The other thing I get really excited about with id that we haven't really talked a lot about is the future of id tech. And what could that mean inside of Xbox? Obviously, we've got a ton of studios doing a bunch of different work. I love the way Marty talked about how they've collaborated with other Bethesda studios on id tech. And I just think about that to the next level. Like, what can we do inside of our organization with id tech, which is one of the world's best game engines out there, and just make it a tool that so many developers can use to realize their vision.
So let me jump on that. So I actually made a video about this because that's like something I like geeking out about is
about this
software
one thing?
moving over. Yeah, I made it. Yeah, about that. Dude, I love wanted to talk a lot about it. And so the id tech, like he is not wrong. It is one of the best like game development software out there. I've done Unreal Engine work before. And I haven't tried id tech yet. I wish I can. I don't know if they're going to make
you wouldn't know how to get into option soccer. Stop it.
Yeah, I will code you under the table.
Tell us what your video's about. Hurry up.
No, I just like the part of him talking about bringing id tech everywhere and making it collaborative, and how id tech does have it on. You got to think like it's on PC, Xbox, PlayStation, whatever, and even Switch. Like that thing is optimized beyond belief. Like I've played, Doom Eternal on my Xbox One X. It was insanely good. The Series X, it's probably insanely good. And then on PC, it's just as good. Like they have the ports down unbelievably and optimized unbelievably. So it's great.
Go ahead, Dick.
I think how they can expand upon it too. Like Phil was saying, with the organization, with all the heads they have there, they could just only make it better. Like, the potential, man. Like, it's such a good time to be an Xbox gamer. And I gotta say, I'm so happy we finally got Phil on the show, man.
No, it's a good time.
I told you we're not PG enough.
This competition is only gonna get better. Sony, I feel like they're gonna have to hit back in some way, and this is what we needed in the console space, definitely. So I'm happy, and this is awesome.
We didn't get a weird video from any outlets about the Insomniac thing being a bad thing, and I know they're not on the same scale, but the concept and the whole it all still applies. It is what it is. They swooped them up. Some people are mad about that. Some people are clinging. Now people are saying that everyone's port bagging, which I think is hilarious. But now Sony have jumped in and swooped up Jade Raymond, who I think she helped actually develop the first Assassin's Creed, like from its inception. She was one of the guys, one of the people who made it, right? So that's a big get. Though, what have we seen since Assassin's Creed?
Not much.
She said, "I've been in one of the biggest franchises. I'm out. Peace. I'm out."
She's been in 2 studios, and each one of those studios has shut down.
So she went from Ubisoft to EA, then to, for some reson, Stadia. Now she's with Sony, and that's big. They're going to give her a lot of money,
and has to deal with Sony. Yeah.
They're going to give her a lot of money, Jeffrey. A lot.
Yes. I don't know. What I heard about her at EA, not just her, like her studio. I guess it's hard to talk about this without sounding like I'm gonna attack her. But I heard that the studio, it wasn't necessarily like just EA losing faith. It was like, the thing just kind of didn't go anywhere. The ideas that they had didn't necessarily come together, and a lot of it was on the studio side of things. And then kind of, I don't know, going to Stadia. I guess you go if Google's going to offer you a job. I guess you take that Google money, right? Because then chances are you get some Google shares, and I guess I don't blame anyone for doing that. But
and to get the fuck out contract obligation on it too, in case it goes under.
Yeah, right. Yeah, because I think she's smart enough to know that was probably never going to result in any games ever shipping. I think everyone looking at that knew that, and I bet she knew better than anyone. But yeah, maybe she's ready, and maybe now is like the time. Like she's doing her own thing. She's ready to ship a game, and I'm interested to see it. Anyone who was involved in those early Assassin's Creed games, those are some good games.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see what she's going to do.
Yeah, she's very. I mean, when she went to Stadia, I was back then saying Microsoft should have swooped her up, but then they missed her this time. Maybe she just didn't want to go. I don't know, but Sony do have her. She's going to lead the studio and on an original IP, right, Colton? Something like that.
Yep. Yeah. So something that we're going to see in 5, maybe 6 years. Maybe sooner, depending on how big the game is. Yeah, but exclusive to PlayStation. So
exclusive.
God, he's
so. If you're one of those guys that doesn't like to, be excited to celebrate a studio or a game in development, don't say anything about this because.
You're not allowed to be excited for studios, right? or something.
Yeah, you're not allowed to be excited for games in development or concept or developers joining or blah blah blah. Yeah,
or games or
just keep
developers.
keep it the same. Yeah,
I mean, Sony has some pretty big games like being made. The San Diego studio that are made up of a lot of Naughty Dog people, former Naughty Dog people. Like they have that studio been being built for like what, a year and a half, 2 years now. So they're probably
At
close
least.
to showing something in a year. And then I think that studio was being built, and then she kind of is the head now. So, and then the other one in Gorilla, like they have 3 studios making something that not a lot of people know about. So, good on Sony. Like, hey man, don't back down. Keep giving us damn games. We don't care.
Yeah. And I'm glad they patched God of War finally. I can get that good performance. I just got to plug it with
looks
PS5.
amazing, man. It looks and plays amazing.
Yeah, I'm sure you played a lot more of it. I tried it when it was still 1080 at 60 in the other mode. But yeah, that game's phenomenal. Again, shout out to almost 2,000 watchers live, guys. The usual shot. Let's see if we can get past it and maybe hit the like button. And again, tell your grandma about the show. Do appreciate it. We got some more topics, believe it or not. We've also got a ton of people in the super chat, which again, we just we can't always get to all these. I don't want to crush the show with them, but we do appreciate them. I do what I can. JD says, even without the games, he says the talent now working for Microsoft Xbox is legendary. The IPs alone are legendary. I mean, they're just massive. They're going to do something great with them. He says good things aren't just coming. Good things are, they're here. So I agree with that, JD. JD, good things are here, and I want to be playing some of these good things. So that's really when you're going to see me start reacting to this and really going in on it. It's one of those things. Colt, we can kind of sum up the Bethesda thing and basically, all your thoughts and what you've been seeing around with you. We can end that and kind of move on to the next subject here.
I mean, just taking a step back, the mass of the community is really excited. People are really energized, and I'm hearing people, excited to get an Xbox, hoping they can get a new console, in short supply. I've seen a few people complaining that, if you're only a PlayStation fan, it's become a little bit unbearable this past few weeks on social media because Xbox guys are loud and enjoying it. I haven't seen a lot of people being disrespectful, but people are just really excited and filling the feed with celebration, basically. And if you're one of those that only likes one platform and hates the other, like, it's really not fun when one side is having their good news time and when they're sharing things that are coming. So basically what I'm seeing is like a large 95+% of the community is freaking excited for Game Pass or Xbox and both. So I'm pretty happy. It makes me happy.
I think it's great to see the PlayStation hardcore PlayStation guys are excited to get an Xbox now. It just goes to show you that this is pushing the needle.
And they're really, believe it or not, and I won't throw it to D and we'll close up, but they're part of this. They're one of the biggest reasons this has happened. So again, shout out to the Sony guys, even the trolls. But we've always said innovation that comes from competition. You got to do things, and when they see an opportunity to swipe a massive set of IP and studios over Google and all these other guys, they're gonna do it. D-Batch, go ahead.
Well, I don't know what more can be said. We said it all. This is just fantastic for gaming. It's great for Xbox, and that stupid narrative that Xbox has no games is dead. Now that's it. Now we just have to wait for our new games to come, and of course, the Bethesda studios, all the different studios that they have, will produce great games for Xbox for years to come. I think they solved one of their major problems, and that was games in their ecosystem. I think the sky's the limit now. And I'm just really excited for these games to come, man. It's a great acquisition.
Well, speaking of games, Tim, Starfield, we're pretty much suspecting that'll be this year. We could be getting Starfield and potentially another one this year, which again, I feel like we can hit games in a minute, but obviously it's been a damn pandemic.
Right.
It's still my first pandy, by the way.
Listen, you're gonna get one of them. I think they're in schedule for one Bethesda release. What was their last release?
A full game.
Yeah,
like
Wolfenstein. Wolfenstein.
Youngblood.
Oh, you're talking about including Bethesda? That would be...
the whole Bethesda. ZeniMax.
You're talking about even the games they publish, right?
Yeah. What was their last big release? Not DLC.
Hey, we've been mentioning about this so much. You think we'd remember?
Well, I mean,
Was it Wolfenstein Youngblood?
it is Fallout 76 and Youngblood were their last
Youngblood.
major
Okay,
releases.
Fallout,
but
Fallout 76.
Yeah,
What
yeah.
was that? A year or 2 years ago?
That was about a year ago.
That
I
wasn't
think.
like the full efforts though.
That's got to, guys. Last year was the pandemic, 2020. It's got to be more than a year ago.
Yeah, it is.
Right.
A year ago.
My brain's exploding.
Okay.
Yeah, I know.
I think
Black
Fallout
hole of time.
76 was. I think Fallout 76 was 2018, wasn't it, or 2019?
And
Yeah.
then
Something like that.
Wolfenstein,
Well, I don't
Wolfenstein
count.
2 was
I don't
what?
count the
Wolfenstein
pandemic
2.
year.
Wolfenstein 2 was 2017. That's 4 years
Wow.
for this team this year. That's why
Okay,
we suspect
so-
something from them soon.
Right. So I think you're gonna get either either that, or I think Starfield, from the rumors, is going to be ready, or they're panning for a 2021 release. But as you know, as things like this, it could easily be delayed, or we can find out about it later. But they did mention on the show that they have something planned that we're going to hear about in the summer, and I think it's going to be Starfield, and hopefully we get a release date. But these games are definitely, I think, close. The pandemic probably definitely halted a bit of things, and also they don't have to also port for PlayStation. That might have saved them a little time too.
It was Doom Eternal, guys. Doom Eternal.
Doom Eternal. Holy
Doom
shit. One of the best
Eternal.
games of
How
last
did we
year.
forget that
you.
great game?
One of the best games of last year.
Okay, so so they
Game of the
kind of
year.
they usually do have a release a year. So I do think that we'll probably get Starfield. But
I'll
that's
never forget Doom Eternal.
I haven't heard anything, or don't have any insider information, or have I asked. But I've read and certain things from pretty reputable things that they might be doing something for this year for Starfield.
Well,
So,
it's
we'll
a
see.
given. Bethesda was people got to remember Bethesda was an entire E3 show on its own. Like all of ZeniMax was
Yep,
like they had
that's true.
like 2 or 3 games release a year. They were a massive publisher. Like, do you not think that they're just gonna stop? No, something's gonna
Right.
come out this year. Something massive is gonna come out this year, and then
Possibly
next year is
2,
gonna be
maybe
more.
2.
Yeah, maybe even 2, or maybe even early next. Like we don't know, but like
I don't know
Bethesda.
because of COVID. I mean, you could possibly their games could be pushed back till spring or something of next year.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if it's Starfield end of the year, then something at the beginning of the year, spring next year. Like that's what I would think,
Mm.
right?
I'm thinking Starfield's next year personally, but
Oh,
I
shit.
don't know.
Maybe.
We'll see.
No, I think it's this year. Usually, when they show a game, it usually comes out pretty soon. So
Yeah, I'm expecting Starfield at the end of this year, but it's got the whole COVID factor where it's.
You know
gonna
what?
come out
Colt's
next
got his
year.
crystal
Jeff,
ball out.
Jeff,
He's
what
expecting
say
it
you?
this year.
Jeff,
No, I am.
what
I am
happens
expecting this year, but COVID throws another 3 months, so it could be early 2022.
Hmm.
But I
What
think
does
they
Jeff
wanted,
say?
Maybe they
wanted
got
to be out in
COVID. That
2021.
speeds up development. Who knows?
You guys, what are we doing? Jeff
Shut up,
Grubb,
Zucker.
the insider,
Yeah, well-
the insider that knows everything.
Yeah,
Jeff,
Jeff,
please,
what do you say?
please confirm this on the podcast. Thanks.
What I
Hey,
heard,
Jeff.
what I heard is that Bethesda is probably 90% they're going to have it at E3, and then whatever they call E3, they won't actually be a part of the official E3, but 90% for it to be there, and then and then what follows is usually the Fallout 4 battle plan, right? They'll introduce it at E3 and launch it in like November. So that's I completely agree with Colt though that you still have to factor in COVID. I know everyone here got their vaccine, right? Probably no. Okay, so
No.
none of us
I
got a
did.
vaccine.
I actually think I
did.
have COVID, just so you know, I had a COVID test.
When you still showed up here?
Yeah, well, I just don't have taste, or I don't. You can.
Oh
throw
yeah,
a
you
pile
definitely
of,
got COVID.
man.
You can
Yeah,
throw a
I-
pile. You can throw a pile of shit right next to me, and I'd be like, "What's that?" I don't even.
I can't.
That's how bad it is.
God
So
damn
yeah,
it, Tim. I
so
felt a little
people on the
spit flying
podcast have
at me.
COVID. That's what I'm saying. This is still going to be an issue. That's going to cause problems with development. That's basically what I was trying to say. So
Tim, can you smell a 60 metagame?
Dude, you could shovel shit right in my face, and I'd be like, "Hey, how you doing?"
All right. Well,
Is that a brownie?
Soon, Tim.
Honestly, I cannot smell
This
anything.
podcast
It's
brought to you
one
by
of the
5-year-olds.
weirdest thing ever.
I just got my first shot yesterday, so
well, Jeff, now that we know Tim can't smell shit,
Yep. So it's like when the hedgehog comes out and sees a shadow or whatever, and there's 6 more weeks of it. So it's gonna be 6 more weeks without Starfield and stuff like that. So this is all his fault.
damn it, Tim. Go back in the hole. Anya.
Damn.
Hey, Colt, though, I mean, Starfield.
Well, yeah, let me
sounds
add to Starfield because I saw in the chat somebody said there may this has been Starfield's been in development since like 2016 or 20 whatever, and maybe it has a contract with PlayStation. And I have to remind people because they forget that Jim Ryan admitted there was no contract with Starfield because he asked the media, I was like, hey, do you guys know if that's going to be on PlayStation? Do you know if Elder Scrolls is going to be on PlayStation?
Yeah,
And he was like, I don't know. I mean, ask Jeff Grubb. So yeah, there's no existing contract for Starfield. I would bet on that there is no Starfield contract with PlayStation for a timed exclusive or whatever, for it to be multi-plat even. I expect Starfield to be exclusive. Oh, I love it.
It would be shocking if Starfield wasn't exclusive.
Agreed.
Exclusive.
I think Sony knows, man. Sony definitely knows. Come on, when Minecraft got bought, when Minecraft got freaking bought, they called them and were like, "Hey, you're gonna take it off Sony or no?"
Why would they know? They didn't even know if their games were cross-gen for till a month before. Those games developed themselves instantly.
Generations.
Oh my god! You know, just the lack of transparency. What was that? Oh, that was Jim Ryan's laugh. Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Hey, by the way, because I'm an asshole, shout out to 2,000 people, over 2,000 watching live, guys. Hit the like button if you haven't. Show a buddy or two as we move on to a different fucking topic.
What a clout chaser.
Why you gotta be truthful about it? Hey, Jeff, I know you're probably tired of talking, but do you got one of those new Xbox gaming headsets?
No, they offered us one. They offered us one, and when they did that, Dean hopped in and said, "Oh, I would really like this." Yeah. Basically, I'm like, "Okay, Dean, you can have it." They might even been like, "Hey, Jeff, we're gonna send it to you," and I think Dean's like, "Actually," so I'm like, "Okay,
take it."
Yeah, take it, Dean. I have way too many headsets sitting around, so part of me's glad I didn't have to review it. But
can you call Dean into
really
your office and have him go ahead and tell us about it?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I'll just have to give a bunch away. But yeah, but people seem to really like this new headset, so I'm jealous.
I haven't actually. I that's why it's kind of fumbling as we started.
Do you know
the show.
Dean?
I was trying to get it.
Yeah,
the mic working.
So tell us about it, D.
Oh,
You're kind of far back from the mic, buddy. That's why.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me now?
Yeah,
Sorry.
You're right up on it, man.
He's not.
Yeah, let me get right up on it. Let me get real close and personal. Okay,
very good.
So basically, I was trying to start up the show with it, and I couldn't get the mic working. I guess it's got to sync, but I was able to hear the audio on it, and the audio is fantastic on it. And I have to say, the level of comfort is really good too. I like the knobs, how you can turn the volume and whatnot. And I know people can say, "Oh, you're biased because you just like Xbox." But honestly, I have the Sony 3D Pulse ones, and the build quality on that. Let's just keep it real. If you have them, you know the build quality is it's nothing to write home about. I like the build quality on this better, and they actually they feel a little bit more comfortable, and the sound quality that I've seen so far. Mind you, I've only had maybe 10 minutes with it. It does sound the sound quality does sound better coming from these. So let's see as I have more time with it. But overall, I am impressed with it. I'm surprised that I got it today. I ordered it twice. I ordered it from Microsoft and Best Buy, hoping one of them would come before the other. So I just got both. And Best Buy delivered, and Microsoft did not deliver mine yet. So there's that. But yeah, they're a good buy, and they're pretty cool.
That's cool. Yeah, because I wanted to kind of throw it out there. Some of the people are starting to give their impressions of reviews, stuff like that. Athal S. Shout out to you. Says, nice podcast. I think Xbox needs some kind of superhero / Star Wars game that is exclusive so they can compete with the Sony Spider-Man. Hey, shout out to you. Thank you. If it's the first time checking out RDX, we do appreciate it. And Microsoft have a lot of things that they're working on, and hopefully something. I mean, Spider-Man's awesome. I like Spider-Man, the last one that came out. And wouldn't mind having something to compete with that. Depends on what it is, though. You can't force something like that. So it takes a lot of time and talent. Let's go ahead and move on past that. There's a lot of Game Pass announcements out of that Bethesda thing, by the way. Game Pass, as you know, past
and after
20. Yeah, right. It's over 20 million subscribers, something like that right now, and absolutely insane numbers for the time it's been out there. Outriders, which I have a different name for behind the scenes, is definitely coming to Game Pass day one, and I did not like that fucking game a single bit when I tried it. But chat, let us know what you thought. Colton, go ahead.
Yeah, let me start off by saying I didn't like it either. And Fonz and I played the demo together, and we were having an okay time, but it just didn't resonate with me as something I would enjoy. And I was pretty vocal about it on social media that it feels like a game that was made for 2012 and runs at 60 on a new console. So I was kind of hoping for more because I really like People Can Fly a lot. So it kind of surprised me because they're really good. But now it's on Game Pass and I don't have to pay a dime. I already have Game Pass.
And they still get paid even though you don't have to pay a dime.
I can go play that with Fonz for a few sessions. And if I get hooked in, that's great. I mean, that's a really cool thing. And bringing a big new service-based game like this is like the model for Game Pass and something like PS Plus. Like, this is really smart.
It's actually not a live service game though. It's like Borderlands. It's nothing like.
No, it's a live service game.
No,
like you are meant to play this game with friends online.
No, live service means that it's an ongoing game that they're going to keep putting, more, stuff into for you. And they're not doing none of that.
They're not going to expand the game at all.
No, it's a campaign.
That's what they say. We'll see. I mean, if the game, gets a lot of users and the people can start playing it, it'll turn into a live service game. It's all the parts are there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Who knows why they say that? I think that's not to scare people away. Like, just come.
I agree.
Don't lie to us, Square Enix.
No, I mean they've modeled it like a Borderlands game, which those are very popular.
Can you play it offline?
They haven't made those live service. I don't think this is going to be a live service game at all.
Well, either way,
it's not going to be a live service game because Square Enix is not going to want to pay that money after the Avengers. I think that's what it is.
Oh, good point. Man, the Avengers. If you just did a regular ass game, it could have been.
I know, man. Dang.
Too bad they had to let the executives talk instead of the creative designers and developers there. Unfortunately.
But this is a game. A lot of people are correcting me about the live service game, but this is a game that thrives when a lot of people get online together and play and co-op and keep the game going and find the loot and build up your character. So if a game like Anthem and Avengers, didn't do well. Like it doesn't have a place to thrive. If you can get a few extra million people to stick on the game and to play it with a lower entry fee, then it gives a chance for Outriders, a game that people are like, it's pretty good. Like, is that enough to put down $60? Now we're seeing maybe it wasn't. Maybe Square Enix said, hey, Xbox, what do you think about running this through Game Pass? I think we'll be able to get more people playing, the first week and hold them there.
Yeah, could be.
So,
and because of this game, right? I'm going to actually try the game, and I might actually end up enjoying the game. I wasn't going to buy it before, right? So if I like it enough, either. I like to own the games that I like. And I think
it kind of has more to do. Like, yeah, sure, maybe the Square Enix kind of felt like, hey, we can use this, but I also think it's not a live service game like Fonz was saying, but it is a co-op multiplayer game that you enjoy with your friends. And the last game like that was Destiny. And Sony had a lot of exclusive stuff locked down on that, and it really shaped the last generation a lot.
Hey Jay,
so I think this is one of the biggest games coming in, like this, like for the next gen consoles. And people are going to play it.
Let me give a shout out to JV, right? And Jay's for freaking out because we couldn't remember Doom Eternal for some reason. I know we talked about it a million times. It's not a big deal, buddy. But he says the fact that Starfield this year and we've seen nothing. LOL. Okay. Does he not remember Fallout? Like this Fallout just came back through the past and smacked the shit out of you. They revealed it a few months before it came out.
We didn't see Doom until 6 months before it came out.
Yeah,
I think it was maybe 8 months.
I'm sorry, JV. Just maybe your memory's worse than ours. I don't know.
But what we were trying to think of was it's funny because the pandemic does kind of delete an entire year just right on that. Like I do kind of like feel like that year didn't happen. But I was trying to remember if it was Youngblood because I know Youngblood came out in like May or June or some weird month. I think Youngblood was the last one. That's why I said Youngblood and Fallout 76 were the last ones. Obviously, Doom Eternal was it's a game of the year contender.
So good.
It was a big game.
Does Outriders mark the first multi-plat game to hit Game Pass day and date that is also hitting PlayStation 5 at the same time?
Outer Worlds.
No, there was Outer Worlds was one.
That doesn't.
Vermintide was another one.
But they had a deal with Obsidian. That's the problem. Like I'm looking at this more like they just kind of
two third party.
Okay. Third party.
They just got a real
date on one,
party.
not on the other. Don't know.
I think it's the first.
I think this is the first. This sets a precedence. I think
it's if you don't count the Outer Worlds, it's the first. Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
I thought Vermintide 2 was the first day and date multi-plat on Game Pass.
Yeah, but is that really on the
Vermintide 2 looks better than Outer Worlds. I mean, this has got a lot of production.
Yeah, Vermintide 2 is fantastic. But Did that really hit day of date on Game Pass when it launched?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it did.
It launched.
Well,
It
then,
launched.
I think it's more of a. I don't think Vermintide is a AAA game. Like this is like
Yeah.
a massive AAA
Vermintide
game.
2 is better than Outriders. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see what you're saying, but like I don't know as far as like catch appeal. I think this definitely is the first one that really.
Outriders is fun. It's
Fawns.
fun with friends. It is a fun
Fawns and I
game
did
to
have
play with
fun,
friends, to pick
so-
it up and play with a friend. The story and the acting in it is abysmal. I
It is
agree with
a-
that 100%.
Well, they
It
built
is
the
a
time
late
machine and went back and
generation
built the
3
game. So yeah.
It's
It's
lot
a
of
late
fun.
generation 360 game through and through, and its design and the way that you get in and out of the hub world, and it feels like Fuse and Defiance and Inversion, which are all B-rated cover shooter third person games that
Coming out and getting
came out
90
in-
Metascope. Watch.
Yeah, I mean, and when I played it, like it felt like that, but it was nice because I was getting a little bit better visuals and 60 frames than what I would get on the last generation. But Fonz and I had a good time. But
Yeah.
I mean, I played him through that demo with him, and I thought, I'm not paying $60 for this. It's not something that I'm going to play more than 1 or 2 sessions if I end up buying it. But now Game Pass changes that. And me celebrating that it goes to Game Pass has nothing to do whether I like the game or not. This is a big move for somebody like People Can Fly and Square Enix, and it's for Xbox fans. That's
It's
exactly what
interesting,
it's all
isn't
about.
With Jim Ryan.
Jim
Jim
Ryan.
Loose Lips Ryan. Who was that? Good.
No, I think it is a big deal. If they continue to do stuff like this, listen, Game Pass is in a spot right now where it's pretty. I wouldn't say. I mean, how could you say overbearing that you're getting so many games? But it is to the point where you are getting a ton of games, and really, it's probably hard to play them all.
Yep.
The thing is that with this, though, I think if this signifies a trend where you start to get these AAAs day and date on Game Pass, that's a shift from the way the third parties were dealing with Game Pass from when it came out to now. I mean, Stadia has had those day and dates, but if Xbox starts to pick up that for Game Pass, wow, like that's another feather in their cap. It's just crazy how much momentum they're getting.
Isn't it so much better than someone like going out and paying to keep a game off another console? Like I
Agreed.
I have all the consoles. I have a PC. So a company going out to spend a lot of money to keep a game off another console doesn't benefit me in any way.
Nope.
It doesn't help me.
Yeah, I saw your tweet on that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, and I forgot I even tweeted that, and people started retweeting it when this thing went through. I'm like, oh, that's a good point. And then I'm like, oh, I wrote that. Okay, cool.
Who's this Jeff? Who's this Jeff
Yeah,
asshole?
who's
That's
this
me.
smart guy? But if you think about it, like even if you have the console, it doesn't help you. Like if you're a PlayStation gamer and Sony goes out and makes Final Fantasy exclusive, how does that actually benefit you? You were going to get the game anyhow, right? Like they were going to put the game on PlayStation anyhow. So what could benefit you is if they go out and spend the money to put it on a service where you're already a subscriber, you get it for free. Like that's a huge difference to me. That's a big deal. That's something I actually really think is a good idea. So it's just such a better strategy, I think. Now it's going to be pretty expensive, and I don't know if Microsoft's going to be able to do this frequently. But if there are games that sort of seem like they're going to fall through the crack, like Outriders, and Microsoft's going to be right there to say, "Hey, we can make sure you get guaranteed money. Come to us." This could be something that they do frequently, because I do think there's going to be a lot of games that do feel like they will fall through the cracks. So this is all good.
The chat
Really is.
The chat is wild. I've got to read a few of these super chats again, guys. Haven't gotten a few, but I need to get a few more. Psychonauts, shout out to him, by the way. He says, hello, everybody at RDX. Let's go. Yes, thank you very much, sir. We've also got the Glitch Doctor. Thank you for becoming a channel member, sir. RDX, Son of Fett. He says, I can't wait to the new Xbox browser. Are you doing the browser thing? He's playing Stadia on his Xbox right now. Facebook's he's a troll. He's trolling. We've also got Yosemite. He says, OG Jeffrey Grubb. The insider. Jeff, we need more insider stuff. You got some good.
No, insider's the worst word. I'm a reporter, please.
Hey, Jeff, you're an inside reporter, though. No, I mean, honestly, we've had a lot of cool guests. And again, I want to thank you for joining in. If you got any inside stuff, go ahead.
Oh yeah.
Just spilled
Absolutely. Let me just find my notebook. I'm gonna hang up now. Actually, got
What's going on with Dying Light 2? And go.
Yeah, right.
Dying Light
Hey,
2.
Colt really needs to know.
I heard it's coming.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Video about it.
No,
I
it
heard
is.
it was exclusive.
There's supposed to be news tomorrow, according to Dying Light.
Yeah, they said they're gonna release it early if you're in their Discord. So just go join their Discord, find out, and then you guys come tell me.
Hang on, they just emailed me the game.
Is there a finder scheme?
Now,
Fuck
But
no.
it is the multiplat. I know that now.
oh no.
What was the other zombie game that never came out?
Dead Island, but it's like that's
Dead
still
Island.
being worked. They're still going to make it, but nobody's going to like it.
Yeah,
It's being made by the guys that made Homefront: The Revolution. So when I heard that, I was like, oh, well, it was fun while it lasted.
and they took too long to release that game, man. I think the window is over for that game because people.
Sumo Digital worked on it, the team that made Sackboy Big Adventure and Crackdown 3. And then that didn't pan out, so they gave it over to Dambusters. Well, it actually started with Jaeger, the team that made Spec Ops: The Line.
Yeah.
Then it went to the Crackdown Big Planet, Little Big Planet team, kind of what they are. And then it's gone over to the Homefront: The Revolution team. So it's kind of like a Xerox copy of a Xerox copy of a Xerox copy at this point.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's good, right?
For you 80s people, yeah, that's not good.
K3 Suboy, he says PlayStation Plus. Well, no, I guess PlayStation Now really needs to step up their PlayStation. PlayStation Plus, I think he means PlayStation Now because that's the only thing they got is like Game Pass, right?
PlayStation Now doesn't need to step up their
It absolutely
game.
does need
They
to
just
step
need
up.
to. They just need to add new games like launch games.
And that's not a step up.
Because they have 800 plus games on that service.
Yeah, but
And
a lot of
over-
them, like hundreds of them, are PS3
almost
stream only.
500 or but almost 500 of them, I think, or at least 400 are downloadable, playable on your PS4.
And that's what I've been saying.
Well,
Like
well,
PlayStation Now is way better than people think. Like, but they need a rebrand because it's still associated with
Wait a
PS3 streaming.
Don't people make fun of Series X and some of the games in Game Pass because they're older games? You telling me that PlayStation Plus has a lot of older games in their server?
Let me
I
quote
think so.
that Tweaktown article that said, shoot, I have to look it up, but I could do it really fast because I have a computer.
Good old
that-
Tweaktown.
Yeah, PlayStation
Yeah,
Now
it's-
has definitely come like leaps and strides. That we've talked about. They actually have a ton of games there. They can download them now, and that's all thanks to competition, right? But they got to up their game even more because people still don't see the value. They still mistake it for stream only. I think it needs a rebrand.
Are they? I
agree.
Jeff, I can ask Jeff this: Is PlayStation Now? Are they officially on the Azure servers?
No, I don't think they've done that yet. I think that was always like a Sony level thing and not necessarily like a PlayStation level thing. And it also, it was a memorandum of understanding, whatever the hell that means. I'm sure someone who's in business knows exactly what that means. But like to me, that just sounds like a bunch of BS. So we'll see if they actually fully see that through. I imagine like as they make new PlayStation Now servers, I think Azure is probably something they deeply consider, but I don't think they would move everything that they have over to Azure because that's probably pretty expensive, and there's no like exclusivity agreement between Sony and Microsoft or anything like that.
Mm-hmm. And they just filled out their PlayStation Now servers all across Europe, which is the main reason, according to Jim, that they were not really doubling down on advertising PlayStation streaming until more recently because they couldn't provide it to most of their customers. They didn't have the servers in place.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of stuff there.
PlayStation Now is not thriving. Like it had a boost when they kind of cut the price. They were able to get like a 50 or 25% boost in subscriptions like 6 months or 8 months ago, or maybe a year because of the pandemic and I just changed the math. But they said Ampere Games tech analysis, consumer research indicates that a lack of enjoyable games is the most common reason why PlayStation Now subscribers do not resubscribe.
Oh, shit.
So-
I was wondering why you remembered that article so well.
Yeah, well, I mean, we talked about it last night. So those of us who are paying attention realize that PS Plus is their go-to. I think we're already seeing PlayStation put incredible games every month and then start throwing games that might, like we talked about earlier in the podcast, that there are games that may be kind of a risk if they're going to hit the market. And, because a game could just fall on its face and die for a bunch of reasons that you didn't see coming. But if you can get on PlayStation Plus at launch or Xbox Game Pass at launch, it is a huge rocket boost to the engagement and the the viability of your game at launch. And so obviously PlayStation has, I made a comment, people attacked me, but I said they're kind of ignoring PlayStation now because they're really putting all of their energy and all of their fertilizer into PlayStation Plus because it is the best place. They already have 40 million people there. It's half the price of Game Pass. They can build that up and come in and sweep and get right next to Game Pass very easily.
Yep.
This has been Tactical Services. Colt Eastwood.
Day and date, man. That's what they
That's
need.
a good point, Colt.
Yeah, day and date would just kill it.
Yeah, they need to do that. They will do it eventually. That's what I think. But yeah, All Might, by the way, says Super Chat, Xbox, RDX Son of Faces, Zalker's Arkham Knight score is pathetic.
Hell yeah!
Psychonauts
I'm waiting
again.
for that. I'm waiting for that Series X patch.
Yeah, I know. Well, hopefully that damn thing's real, right?
Dude, I tried playing that like on my OLED with Series X, and I was just like,
Hey, Auto HDR, man, that game, I don't know, man. It's still
no, it looks good with the Auto HDR, but the 30, man, and then just the way it is, like it's that 900p.
shimmering ass bat suit flying in the wind. Yeah.
Oh my god, bro! I was like, oh shit, my eyes are hurting.
That's just because you got to get through that game, though. It's still worth getting through. Psychonauts, by the way, says shout out to everyone on the panel. And I think I actually read that. If I didn't shout Psychonauts, I'm sorry, but I think I did. Black Eyed Dog, stop punching your dog, man. You said, did you see DualShockers video? Hilarious. That video, I actually recorded something special for that a day or so ago. So I was something
I can't wait.
And then I'll get two more here. We've got M10. Okay, hopefully Matimio. Is that what I think? I think I just got that right. He says, "Who here doesn't know what legacy means? It's very important." A lot of people don't apparently, but we have talked about that. I think it's pretty crystal clear for the most part. But yeah, maybe they will have to elaborate more on that because some don't. Midway 7, shout out to you, brother. He says, "Colt, the video with Gaz was hilarious." The sauce. What video? The video with Gaz. What video with Gaz?
I called him when he was making his video, and he answered the phone, and I told him about Outriders hitting day and date, and he made a really crazy face into the camera and cut to credit. So it's something he's working on right now. It's great. Yeah, the sauce.
Shout out to Gaz from GameOnDealer.com. Those guys are awesome. Check out the link down below, by the way. RA89, he says Xbox hype. It's a wrap. It's a wrap. Fonz, don't do it. Don't do it, Fonz.
Hey, wait, stop. What is this reference? I must not have been paying attention.
Oh, no.
Missed. It's a wrap.
Really, Jeff? You have to ask that on this podcast?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah.
All right, Fonzarelli.
Sorry, if it's insulting, too bad. Just tell me what's going on.
So there was
it's a wrap.
So there's a
YouTuber.
Oh, Chad, let us know your thoughts.
A PlayStation
centric.
Yeah, PlayStation centric YouTuber that was touting RDNA 3 features and was calling it like, sorry, Xbox. Sorry, guys. That's how it is, man. This thing's RDNA 3. You've only got RDNA 2. It's over. And then he said it's a wrap over, and he clapped his hands. And
Jeff, it's the same group of people that thought an SSD made your fucking graphics card better. Okay?
Right? Yeah.
Okay, play it again. So
that's
it's a wrap.
We didn't even know Fonz had this until before the show. I'm sorry. I had no part in this. But yeah, again.
So it's become the thing that when something ends up
become a
being
meme, basically.
Yeah, it's a meme. It's a meme.
Yeah, I put all that together with context clues. I knew it was like a thing, like but like where it actually originated from. No, thank you so much. I appreciate
the article. Jeff Grubb asked where it's a rap is from.
And it's from
put that on Reddit.
And he's actually not a bad guy. He's Marlon Gaming.
He seems nice, but yeah, he's got a.
I've
been on Marlon's show. I've been on Marlon's show once. A long time ago, like
Well, Marlon got exposed. That's basically what you just heard.
People just wrote him pretty hard for that, and he said enough, man. I called it wrong, and it's over. And it's just. That's how the community is. They have fun with it.
Shout out to Marlon. So tune in every week, Marlon. That would have never happened. Damn it. Hey, shout out to Tony Stark RDX. Your name's Tony Stark, not Tony Art. He says, laugh my ass off. I was working on concept art. Oh, by the way, he's apparently got some stuff going with art in the industry, by the way. He said he heard Phil's voice pop up, and he died pretty much. So yeah, shout out to you guys. We'll get back to as many of these as I can handle in a bit. We got some other topics and stuff to get to, but we do got to continue with Game Pass stuff, because not only did Outriders show up, but so is Yakuza 6, right? They did announce that recently. They got Undertale, Empire of the Sun, Empire Sin, Octopath Traveler. Wasn't that a Nintendo exclusive, Cole, right?
Yeah, it was Steam and Nintendo only. Yeah.
Yeah. My son is excited for Undertale. Yeah, he's happy about that move.
I don't know a couple of these, but
an RPG.
We do have a few enhancements though. Wreckfest is now in 4K. Most importantly, the frame rate. They doubled it.
Is it now or it's on the way?
It's now.
On the way.
It's now. I played it today.
It's now.
I played it today, and I can confirm that things still crush, but way nicer.
Nice.
Outer Worlds patch. Is that a full-on enhancement, or is that like an FPS boost?
Full enhancement. Full enhancement from Obsidian, and they even stretched it out for the PlayStation 5. So
Ooh.
Looking out for all the players on the Legacy title.
Is there still a tiny little sun behind the ear of every single character in the dialogue menu?
Yeah. No, I played it before I made my video yesterday because that news broke, and I included that in my video. The game, it was so vibrant and colorful, and it just freaking sparkles.
It's got auto HDR now, frames.
Too. Yeah, it's a good-looking game, man.
Speaking of higher frame rate, again, frame rate, the reason we've harped on this for years, the chat used to bitch at us. We're like, well, I got a 4K TV, so I want to use all my 4K. And I'm like, well, your 4K TV also does 60 frames. So you don't want to use all your frames. And, a lot of these guys, they now see why we were harping the frame rate for years and why this has been the big thing for us. So this is
that has happened, hasn't it? Everyone's like, "Oh no, I'm a frame rate snob now. I didn't know this was going to happen."
Yeah,
like I could have told
but
you
they were telling everyone else to shut the fuck up about it. But when it wasn't around, so I don't know. I think it's big. Prey. When did that come out? 2016. Prey.
2015, 2016,
2017.
Right.
2017. All right.
2017.
Prey came out in 2017. That's now FPS boost up to 60. Fallout 4, Skyrim is as well, and you can turn on the different features of these games. If they are not enhanced, if you push start on the title, you got to manage the game, go left to compatibility options, I do believe. You can turn off and on auto HDR for individual titles now. So if your FPS boost on some games was off by default, I think for Prey, mine was off by default. I don't know if that would have fixed it if it booted up, but you can turn it off or on at your whim.
The one good thing about Prey was I believe it was enhanced on Xbox One X.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and it kept the enhancement with the.
It's basically 1440p 60.
Yeah,
I actually had 30 hours in on it and the 30 frames mode, knowing that was probably coming. And when it switched over yesterday, holy smokes! These consoles can do so much, and they can't do anything when developers have everything locked at 30 from older consoles. And when you have FPS boost, it just literally changes everything where you actually get the hardware you paid for, and it's a big deal. Like I gave up on Prey after a few hours at the beginning when it launched. It's one of my favorites right now. I love it. Basically, it's BioShock with a less creepy Dead Space. It's those two games mixed together. You're in a floating derelict huge space station instead of an underwater city and it's all been abandoned. Everybody's died and you're the only one there. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, the frame rate's such a big deal. Outer Worlds needed it as well. All of them needed it. Every game needs it. Every one of them. Even Barbie Horse Simulator. Shout out to Randolph.
It's true.
Supposedly Prey 2 also had
man with the million.
God, you're really fast with the div thing.
The DF covered it that the input lag of people on the controller is now cleared up too.
Ooh.
So even more so with that's also gone.
That's a big deal. So I'm looking to. I want to play. I jumped into Skyrim briefly. Again, auto HDR is massive for that game. Wreckfest looks really good with auto HDR. It's such a phenomenal technology. All this stuff's free when you get the box, and it really does make a difference.
Boost for it too, right?
Yeah.
For Skyrim? Yeah, okay.
Yes.
So on PlayStation, it's still 30, I suppose.
Why you got a console war?
No, I'm just asking.
I know.
Suppose it's still 30 over there.
Yeah, it's still 30.
I gotta play. Man,
Yes, it's 30.
Yep.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, see, that's what's so good, man. That FPS boost is awesome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It definitely is. It's one of those things where it's something you didn't even think about 8-9 months ago. But it's a thing, and it's damn real.
I was thinking about that. We've been talking about this for quite some time, saying I wish that all these older games would just get a 60 frames boost.
That was through traditional means, though, right? Like now they invented a technology where the developer doesn't even have to touch the game. The game don't even know that it's doing it. They found a way, so that's a big deal.
That's pretty cool, actually.
Only possible on the Xbox console.
Until next week when it comes out on PlayStation. After Colt just said that.
Hey, speaking of,
It's a wrap.
Stop saying that.
Speaking of only possible on the Xbox, I had a friend today that messaged me. They wanted to get a monitor for their console, for their PlayStation. I was like, first of all, why are you getting a monitor? He wanted to get like a 1080p monitor. I said, no, why would you want to get a 1080p monitor? At least 4K, because that's a 4K 60 system, right? He's like, no, okay, I'm gonna get a 1440p monitor. I'm like, listen, if you get a 1440p monitor, the PlayStation 5 does not output at 1440p. It only outputs at 4K and 1080p. So your 1440p monitor will be displaying a 1080p.
It's still limited.
Yeah, it's still limited. So Series X is an awesome console, man. It is doing a lot of things that the competition is not, and like, god damn it, give them some respect.
Yeah.
Dude, yeah. So they still don't have VRR. They still haven't fixed that.
Why y'all got a console war?
That's not a console war. It's something that I want.
I get bonds every time. Like, I don't even have to try to get bonds.
You still can't have expandable storage on that system. Like the hard drive, the
storage is not a big deal to me, but I know it's a big deal to a lot of people.
It is a big deal. The PlayStation 5 has like what, I think 600 something.
I know, but
hey Jeff, what'd you have for breakfast?
What's that?
Okay, I'm done.
Gosh. Damn it.
No, I'm just listening to Dean and Fonz go, the storage is kind of a big deal. That's one of the weaknesses of the PS5, right? 600 gig? Yeah. I don't know. It's a little bit of a big deal. That's one Red Dead. Yeah.
Console war.
It's one Red Dead.
It's one Red Dead. Yep. What were the other games that were boosted from those guys? There was Prey, Fallout 4, Skyrim, and
Fallout 76, which I played for an hour or two.
How was that?
Oh man, that game still is. I don't care what they've improved; it's still not anywhere near as good as.
Won't
Fallout
fix that
4.
one, huh?
Yeah, but the frame rate is a lot better. Like I could actually play it longer than normal.
Yeah,
but yeah, it's rough.
And that game had a lot of latency because it's like, and
you know what? Actually, some of that is gone. I don't know if they fixed that, but that doesn't have to do with the boost. But it's just so much better. That one actually launched with boost mode off by default. I had to go in and turn it on and the manage, and then it makes you restart the game. You have to go in and close it, and then relaunch it in the Xbox, and then the FPS boost is on, and you're good to go. So,
well, that's Fallout 76 is one of those games that I dodged an L on. I definitely canceled that pre-order after quick enough. I think we rolled good. Yeah, now it's in Game Pass. So, let me, I guess I can get a few more of these, then we can jump back into the next topic, which I find very interesting. But, Bridged Blue, he says, wanted to ask, what would you all consider is a hidden gem on Game Pass? There's a lot of good games on there. Colt, you got a hidden gem that you played on there that you're like, wow.
River Bond, if that's still on there. I don't know if it's still there.
They took it off the PC one. I wonder if it's still on the console one.
Yeah.
River Bond, yeah.
That's like something you wouldn't see coming, and was like, I really liked it.
It was
a lot more
little party
Minecraft
game, right? Like you're in a party, just smacking everything. And
yeah, I just really enjoyed it. And then Grounded would be the other one.
For Minecraft Dungeons.
Yeah, there you go.
Yep.
Or Minecraft Dungeons.
Or on PC if you want Company Heroes 2. Really damn good RTS game, one of the best.
Awesome game.
Hang on, they got the best RTS game ever made on there, I think, on PC. They got Rise of Nations on there on PC, don't they?
StarCraft?
No, Rise of Nations? No, it's called Rise of Nations.
StarCraft. We're gonna fight!
We're talking about console, though. No one gives a fuck about PC. I don't know. The console, Tim, do you anything on that console?
Console war and son of a bitch.
Tim, you think of anything, a hidden gem?
A hidden gem or what game I would like to see?
No, a hidden gem, Tim. A hidden gem. It's there, but not enough people are playing it.
Yakuza.
Oh yeah.
Like a Dragon.
He really did like that game a lot.
I put 60, 70 hours into it. I hope I like it. But yeah, that game, once you get into it and you get really... Did you play that, Mr. Grubb?
Yeah, so that's one of the things they sent over when they sent over the Xbox for review. It was I got to play like the chapter 5 or whatever for a little bit, and then when it came out, I played a little bit more of it. It's actually whenever I get it, like whenever I have to watch my kids in the basement, I have the Xbox Series S hooked up, and I play it on there actually like a little bit in bursts, and I'm still enjoying it. I just don't have a lot of time to see it through, but it's like one of those games. It's like I can see the quality, and I want to keep playing it for sure.
Yeah.
They sent it over for
great
review. You're
story.
right, and I still didn't get to it. I still didn't play it. I was like, watch
I
it.
actually
Torchlight 3
restarted
is really
playing
good.
it.
Say what-
Hidden Gem though. Hidden Gem that's a really good question.
Torchlight 3 and Xeno Crisis. Those 2 games I played on Game Pass on my console, and it's fucking awesome. They're great. Xeno Crisis is like a little shooter, hard as hell. You probably 90% of people won't beat that game here. It's that hard. And Torchlight 3 is just like a cool Diablo-esque game, and you could tell they made it like for play free online, but just play it. It's really fun.
Oh my god!
Little-
a guy
little
called
Nightmare
Xbox
series.
Killer just said, "Jeff, you can't say you don't have a bias anymore." Xbox Killer.
Yeah, and I always say I'm biased though, but I'm biased towards Nintendo and PC. Like, homie,
You're
get
talking to a
over
dude
it.
called Xbox Killer.
Jeff is very.
PlayStation
Let me
logo,
say
like,
something.
no self-awareness.
Jeff is very fair.
Yeah.
People I see
Yeah.
Sony guys say he's a fanboy or he's
Yeah.
an Xbox. Then I see Xbox guys complaining to him in my DMs like, "Oh, Jeff is a Sony guy."
Yeah, no, they
Jeff,
only
make
care
up
when I
your
say
mind.
something about PlayStation or Xbox. If I say something about Nintendo or PC, they don't. It's like not even talking. They don't care about that. It's only when I say, and it's like, honestly, guys, I grew up in a Nintendo fanboys. That's absolutely where my
It's only
bias
gonna get
is,
worse,
and I
Jeff.
admit that.
You know what?
Yeah.
Speaking of the,
Real quick,
Go
a
ahead.
hidden gem. This is a very much a games journalist, like drinking an espresso, pinky finger in the air sort of answer. But I won't be happy until everyone plays Outer Wilds, man. Outer Wilds.
I gotta try it.
It's so good, and I know it's like there's a little bit of a barrier of entry. Just pay attention to that map in the back of your ship, and just keep at it. The discoveries you can make in that game rival like Breath of the Wild. It is a fantastic game.
Oh, big claims.
For me, I
believe
in
it's
Game
on
Pass,
them.
I would say
Go ahead, Fonz.
I would say Remnant from the Ashes.
that's a good
I
one.
think it's a pretty good game that a lot of people haven't tried.
Yeah, you've been talking about that game. I would say I don't know if this one's got people playing it, but I don't know if it's enough to qualify or not enough. But what is that? Deep Rock Galactic. That's on Game Pass, right?
Oh,
You
yeah, a
gotta
lot
pick
of
that
people
out.
talk about that game.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of good stuff.
I
on
played
Game
that
Pass.
game I played that game for 3 hours, and I was just like, man, I'm done.
That's what sometimes I don't know. I mean, preview can be good. Like it was unbelievable with Ark, but like I think like a game like Deep Star Galactic would have been bigger if it was not. I kind of feel that would be bigger if it wasn't in preview. Like
yeah, could be.
So sometimes I think preview can not necessarily hurt the title, but not necessarily.
It gives people
gets that big
preconceived
push
idea. Yeah.
Right. Or if they play it very like Grounded. Listen, I think Grounded once it gets its full release is going to be huge, or it's going to be very big. It's huge or it is.
It's actually very
But, like-
small. You're actually very tiny in that game.
Sorry,
good point. Bad joke.
But you know what I mean. Like like sometimes. So I'm kind of conflicted on previews sometimes.
Yeah.
Also the medium people, if you haven't played it, I know it's not like a hidden gem, but the medium's actually really damn good. And then there's another one. It's
People
kind of
love it, yeah.
it's kind of a JRPG. It's called Battle Chasers. Play that on console also. It's a lot of fun, optimized really well. So there you go.
That game you told me about recently, Anamorph Defense or whatever.
That's not on Game Pass.
I know.
though.
I was going to mention that, but I think it
so good.
might go there. But
What
again,
was
go ahead.
Xmorph Defense, by the way.
Anamorph Defense.
What was the game that the guy Wooly Gamer got the developer?
Who?
basically went out?
Descenders.
What?
Descenders.
How is
is
that
great.
game?
You're talking about that guy
That's
that got
great.
crushed by the developer or whatever.
Yeah. What game was that?
I don't know. I just laughed and shared it. Hey, hey, Lou said what?
Descenders is that mountain biking game that came out.
Oh,
on Game
Descenders.
Pass.
Yeah.
You're
Okay.
You're not. Yeah,
I gotta try that.
Oh,
too.
by the way, the developer of that game, I think it was. He said they were like a couple man team, and they already were basically made
Seven
millions of dollars.
figures.
Yeah, something like
They're
that.
at 6 digits. He said they went from amazing to insane numbers once they went into Game Pass. But it's just take note. Like if you want to win the console war by putting down developers or games that you don't think are cool, think about what you're doing, because there are tons of these people behind these games that make them.
Yeah,
and it's a good way to get yourself muted and blocked by people who can actually give you some enjoyment on a hobby you're supposed to be enjoying.
It's worse than that, though. It wasn't because it wasn't a game that he was interested in. It was because it was going on Game Pass and Xbox service.
I really feel that developers kind of we should treat them a little bit better as gamers. Yeah. I mean, we're really kind of like, we complain about a lot of stuff and we're very hard, but
Yeah,
these guys,
you know, a game costs $60. That's a lot of money. I get that. But it is
70.
It's peanuts. $70. You're right. It's peanuts. It is nothing compared to the years of effort that these people put into these games. And so you come at them and say, I pay your salary. I paid $70 for your video game. It's like, motherfucker, no, you did not. You paid
Motherfucker,
like a fraction. You were so insignificant. Like, I get it. The customer's always right or whatever. But put it in perspective, please. Like, yeah, okay, just ask for a refund and move on with your day. That is a much better use of everyone's time if you don't like something.
Nope, there's no helmet customization. Jeff, fuck this game.
Yeah.
Hey, shout out to Lou. Lou said what? He says, shout out to Microsoft for giving me too many damn games to play. Y'all hit that like button, you hear? He didn't add that last part.
Another one is Phoenix Point. Check it out. It's like a Gears Tactics type of game, XCOM type of game. Same guy that created XCOM made Phoenix Point, and it's freaking awesome strategy
game. Is it the CIA one or?
No. That's XCOM. It's an alien type thing, and it's kind of insane.
Well, tell me this game Visage is really, really good and really scary.
Damn, dude, I'm playing too many damn games.
Has anyone tried that?
Microsoft, I think it's time you update that damn logo. Over 100 games. My ass, you got like 200 something in there minimum.
I think there's
with Game Pass,
300 now.
500.
300 at Microsoft.
With Ultimate.
It's 300. Wow.
Yeah, it's over almost 500 with Game Pass Ultimate.
Oh,
included.
I need about 350.
Tetris Effect Connected.
Oh,
play Tetris. That game is freaking insanely addicting.
It is.
Yeah,
you know,
there's no excuse not to play that.
You would think, well, it's just Tetris, you know, and I sat there one night.
Bonds made the original Tetris.
3 hours went by, and I'm like, I just spent 3 hours on freaking Tetris. But, hey, it's fun.
Hey,
Tim and I had a good little session with that one, didn't we, Tim?
All right.
Yeah. You were trying to figure out how it was going on the fly.
I know this is not on the topics list, but since we got Jeff on, I'm just going to ask him real quick. What do you think about Microsoft's stance on VR for the Series X? Because I saw someone, I don't know, they got some leaked files or codes, and then Microsoft PR said, no, we're not going into VR anytime soon. It's not on our radar. So I just want to know what your thoughts on that, Jeff. If you think it's a good thing, it's a bad thing, whatever. If you're indifferent.
Yeah, I think it's a smart thing. I wouldn't, any effort they would put, like, it's not always zero sum, but a little bit of it's zero sum. If any effort you put into another area is something you're taking away from somewhere else that actually is working. And VR is not gonna, let PlayStation handle that. PlayStation's doing a pretty decent job with that. Like a respectable job of putting out a cool VR game. Sounds like they're gonna kick that up again in the next year or so. And just let them have that space, let them build it up. And if VR is gonna work, it's also gonna work on PC. You can figure it out there later on. It's not something you need to get on the ground level of. And take those resources and just keep putting them into Game Pass. Anything that you would put into VR, put into Game Pass. And I could have like told people when that story came out today that someone's like, oh, I hooked up the headset and says about VR. It's like when they did VR support for Flight Simulator, they were very clear. Like, let's be honest, people. We're just doing it in this game. Don't think this means anything about us having a VR headset. That's not what we're doing. No way. So they have been trying to stamp down any idea that they might do that for quite some time. So, but I think that's the right choice.
Yeah, transparency.
Agreed.
It's always best.
I get a lot of people in the community that hit me up. Are they going to get involved in VR? Are they going to do this? Or I think they're going to do this. Or can they do a partnership? And my answer to them is like, listen, if VR is a deal breaker with you, or it's what you need, or it's what you want, Xbox is not the place. You got to go to PC. Or PlayStation or PC.
Yeah, where's the killer apps? Where's the killer games that you have to have that you're missing out on to get it on console? Because there aren't a whole. Everyone says Half-Life Alex, one game, but like I'm not going to spend a couple $100 or 500 or more on a VR headset for one game. There's some cool little quirky games out there that people enjoy, but VR just isn't ready yet.
VR has come down in price though. The Oculus Quest 2, the wireless one, it's pretty cheap.
Yeah.
I actually know a lot of friends that have VR, and they've played a lot of games on it, and they like just love it.
It's a cool technology. I love VR. I got a Valve Index over here. I got a Vive over there. I got the Oculus Rift over there. I got all these things in my room here, and they're cool. And I got the Oculus Quest upstairs that my kids love to play on. VR is cool tech. I like to experiment in it. I like to find the stuff that like the weird stuff that people are doing on Steam. That's the stuff I like to dabble in there.
Oh yeah.
No, I didn't say perverted, but yes, also
That's awesome.
perverted, of course.
Quit bragging.
Nothing's wrong with that.
Let's specify. Yes, that too. But no, it's just it's different. It's something else. It is not necessarily video
Original.
games as we've. It's its own original
100%.
thing. And it's like it's not video games as we've come to consider video games, and that's an important distinction. And I think if you are going to be a video game company, you also are probably not going to be a VR company. And I think the way like Sony's going to learn that, and they're going to probably sort of fork these things and let PlayStation VR become its own standalone thing, even if it kind of has to be connected still next gen. We'll see. We'll see if the third
does
iteration is going to be.
Does Sony's thing even have VR chat? Like that's one of the biggest ones is like VR chat and all that, where people just do stupid things and chat and have a fucking good time, and it's like weird.
Yeah, and those are the cool things that I like. That's why I like the PC side of things for sure.
Oh yeah, 100%. All those little things are different.
Personally, for it to be successful on console, I think it just needs to be wireless. I think the wiring, it kind of sets off gamers, and I agree with you, Jeff, that they should put their resources on what's working, because VR, it is an awesome experience. It is something completely different, but yeah, it's not really mainstream. It's not like it's racking up tons of money in the industry right now, and I do think Microsoft does have an advantage in the future if they are gonna jump into it. They don't really have to do much work, because Microsoft obviously is running on the Windows operating system. You already got PC, so the games that supported on PC that are also on console, it'd be pretty easy to make it work. And as well, you have all the third-party headsets that work on Windows operating system, like the Windows mixed reality headsets, and those could easily be brought over to the console. So yeah, I see where you're coming from.
The change that people thought VR was going to bring to video gaming is that change is happening. It's just Game Pass is actually the change. Like that's the big disrupting factor. Like, everyone's gonna be playing VR. No, everyone's just gonna be subscribing to services, and that's gonna be the thing that actually changes everything. So Microsoft found the right path for sure.
Two people act like you have to subscribe to these services too. Like you still have all the options of buying the stuff.
Well, here's the thing: the casual market is, what you want to crack into, because they make up freaking at least 80-90% of the gaming market. I mean, it's not really the hardcore base. And for instance, I told you guys already, but my boss is a casual gamer. He doesn't play many video games, but he subscribed to Game Pass, and he heard this Outriders news because he was playing the demo, and he's like so excited now that he doesn't have to pre-order or buy this game.
And
so,
he's watching Rand's video.
Casuals, it's casual. It's pretty cool.
He was watching Rand's video too when he found it out, I think, right?
Yeah, he was watching Rand's video. He really was. Yeah, I walked into the office and I heard Rand, and I'm like, "What are you doing?" And he's all, "Oh, I'm watching Randall Thor 19." And I go, "Oh yeah, I know that guy."
Was he awake?
No, you do the same crap with one of my videos. Is that what you're talking about?
Is
this the same guy?
Yeah.
So I think that's freaking cool. Yeah.
Hey, shout out to Fonz's boss. Hi.
Yeah.
I remember talking to Jeff when, you were always pretty big, Jeff, but like over the last year or 2 years, you really blew up. Like,
he said, it's horrible.
What's it like to be famous?
No, it's just great to see, because honestly, and I love Jez and everything, and I mean it when I say though.
No, pick one. Me or Jez now.
Jesus, this ain't Pokemon, Tim.
No,
you can have them both.
but I've always it's just great to see, even with Jez's trajectory. But man, you really blew up, man.
The pandemic was good to me. Like it's a weird thing.
Yeah.
Like the pandemic kind of like it scattered a bunch of stuff across the industry. People didn't necessarily know like one place to go to get a bunch of information, and I just sort of lucked into an idea like with the summer game mess that really kind of people needed. People
but
wanted.
You nailed a lot of stuff too. Let's not forget about that.
Yeah, and yes, the reporting was very. It helped. Good reporting does a lot of. But even before that, like I was breaking some stories before that, and they didn't always catch on in the same way. It took some time to build that up that side of things, but. Usually not getting things wrong, that helps too, for sure.
Right, and the one time you do get something wrong, you're crucified. You know what I mean? Like,
that's what I think it comes to territory. I need to just shut the fuck up about Elden Ring. Is what I learned.
Oh shit,
Elden Ring. Yeah, Jez. It sounds like Tim chose a side.
It's a wrap.
Oh,
no,
Elden
I love
Ring
them both
Legacy Killer
equally.
Edition.
fonts, both equally.
Jeff Grubb.
No, but it's just great because, but even just to even so, really talking about the trajectory of how they grew, it's just like the pandemic. Just it blew everyone up, and it's just nice to see that like Jeff really kind of got the notoriety he always deserved. You know what I mean? Not that he wasn't getting it.
In a back massage right now.
He kind of like left the leader of the pack.
It was
right
good.
there, you know.
Man, now he's going to the foot.
Hey, Jeff, tell people,
Time for that VR weird
what
game.
you do right for, by the way. We didn't quite introduce that. You didn't introduce that. Why didn't you do that?
I don't know. I write for GamesBeat.com. You can find me there. It's my day job where I write about basically the business of games, but mostly whatever we want. We have a pretty cool staff there where we just like follow our passions, and if there's something cool happening in gaming we want to write about it, that's where we could do it. And then you can also get me on YouTube. It's Jeff Grubb's Game Mess is the name of the channel now, and I do a podcast with my buddy Mike, who also works at GamesBeat. We do that each Friday live. But you can also catch my new show, which is the Jeff Grubb's Game Mess Show, where I go over events that are happening, some of the news that's happening. But especially like if I'm adding something to that Jeff Grubb's Game Mess list, where there's going to be a Microsoft event on March 26th or whatever. Let's talk about what that means. I could talk about it on that show there and kind of give people expectations. It's been fun. It's been cool. It's been a good response to that show so far.
Well, that's awesome. And by the way, we're gonna kind of ask you for that information at the end of the show. I probably should have clarified, but yeah, well, I mean, we'll ask you again, and we encourage everybody listening to check Jeff out. We do. Well, let's get to some of these final topics, all right? Because it is dragging here. So, ZOA, what the hell is this? The Rock had a Facebook video up, Xbox logo on a box. He opened it, and I think it said ZOA. Am I tripping here, chat? Some of you guys saw this. I know you did.
That's his energy drink, right?
Is it? So he's talking about a energy drink reveal in 2 weeks or a week or two. What is it? What is that? Well, why would he wait that long?
Yeah, so he's got a new energy drink. It's like a healthy energy drink that he's like promoting. He's like reaching out to like what's his name that just is on the Xbox kind of funny show. And Gary Whitta, he sent Gary Whitta a box that's like an Xbox, but it also looks like a refrigerator. And then inside is Zoa, which is his energy drink, and I think it has to do with like his culture or whatever. But I went looking for it. I didn't know it came out. It hasn't come out yet, so I went to the store looking for some because I'm like, yeah, I'm not gonna beg The Rock for some free stuff on Twitter. Yeah. I should, but I'm not going to. So I'll just see if I can go buy some.
I'm sure you already sent you some, Jeff. He heard about you just now on the show.
Yeah, listen, Rock. I appreciate it.
Taylor was yelling at me before the show.
No, I was like, what is Zoa? That's not what I did. I said, have you heard about the Zoa thing? I mean, you of all people have not heard about this.
Hey,
I gotta check Facebook now.
Yeah, go check Facebook.
I gotta say this though, because I've always given Microsoft a hard time, especially in the last few years on their marketing. In the last little while, they have stepped it up with their marketing. I'm seeing a lot of material. I saw stuff in the Super Bowl. We see the stuff with The Rock. I saw some new commercials recently. They've really stepped it up, man. So I'm also seeing like people in the PC sphere of things really getting into it with Microsoft, saying, you know what, I think I'm gonna get a Series X or I'm gonna get Game Pass so I can play these games on my PC. So they're doing a really good job on the messaging right now, on the marketing, and I just hope they continue forward with it.
Yeah, that they are, and then now they got a little bit of steam behind them, right? So that's good. Speaking of Steam, they've got something going on with their Steam competitor, the Microsoft Store. EA and Xbox team up on something called what is this? Codename Rosebud. 75 titles have popped up on the Microsoft Store from EA.
Jesus.
What is happening with this? I have no idea what this is.
It's the first time hearing of this.
Codename
PC?
Rosebud.
Maybe Xbox PC Ultimate.
I think it's the EA games coming to PC like they said it was going to, and then they had like kind of problems, and so all the EA games will be coming to Xbox.
So they fixed it.
On PC Game Pass, yeah.
Yeah, on PC Game Pass, all the EA games.
Good news for the PC Game Pass guys. It's great.
Yep.
75
PC
titles.
Game Pass if you have Ultimate.
Well, if you don't have if you're not a PC guy.
I wanted to just give a point that on D-Batch, a lot of people always, are on Xbox to the marketing, but the last year they really added a lot of people, and the people at Bethesda are probably one of the best at marketing. And not many people know this, but the last video montage at the end of the roundtable, which everyone loved, that actually was Bethesda working with Xbox hand in hand. So they both worked on that together.
Oh,
and that just goes to show you that
They need a new montage guy at Xbox.
You know,
No.
well,
They've had some cool montages this past year or two, but
no, but that
like,
one was
that one
was awesome.
Yeah.
But
that one was
that
one
was
of the
Bethesda involved.
yeah, that was one of
So-
the best. And what it really did was, people are like, oh, Bethesda, Fallout 76 is trash. But when you watch that, you realize what Bethesda and Xbox together are. You see Fallout Rage and Doom and Elder Scrolls, and you see this legacy with everything that
Doom.
Xbox is doing. Like, yeah, I got chills watching it because I'm like, I've been following Xbox tripping over their own shoelaces for several years with the Xbox One, and then they've come to this. I'm like, this is what we've been asking for. This is why we talk about we want big budget AAA games on the Xbox. It's been a while, and here they are.
In 2 more years.
End of the
I'm just
chapter.
kidding.
No, in a few months, man. Right?
Yeah. Well, I mean,
some of us
again,
are expecting Wolfenstein and Starfield like in the next 6 or 8 months. So pretty crazy.
yeah, they've got more than that even, and stuff. I don't know, man. I'm just excited for what's going on, and again, I'm just excited to know what the hell codename Rosebud is, which was what we just talked about. So, yeah, I mean, that's pretty interesting. There's going to be another Xbox event very soon. We're not expecting much there in terms of like new big stuff or anything, but I mean, when it comes down to it, yeah, it's another event. They're going to be showing off some new or some more information or telling us more about crap. And speaking of crap, Zalker, what do you think's going to happen here?
I'm not answering you. Not answering you.
Holla.
I see what you did there.
What do you think's going to happen to this thing? So,
I just think they're going to talk about some of the tech, maybe some xCloud stuff. I don't think there's going to be that many like game announcements. I mean, they've talked about tempering their expectations. Even Aaron Greenberg even kind of messaged Jez publicly, like, "Hey, don't expect too much at this event." So I don't think it's going to be too big. I think they had that roundtable is kind of like the big thing, and then I think they're going to. I think they're going to wait till summer. I mean, there might be a surprise or something, maybe something coming up, a couple gameplays being shown from third party. But I don't think anything from like Xbox first party. Maybe.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead, dude.
No, I was just gonna say, just being the tech head that I am, I'm actually looking forward to the show. I think Microsoft really does need to have a show that's dedicated to the technology that's inside the Series X, and they have some demonstrations of it, like some demonstrations of VRS in a real game that's coming out, some demonstrations of mesh shaders of a real game that's coming out, and all the other features on the series.
They wouldn't do it there, but yeah,
That's
they
too
could have shown that
technical.
off. That'd have been cool.
I agree. I know you love that stuff and you're very technical, but that's just what I think it's going to be. Generally, is just they're going to outline their whole year, and they're going to say, "Hey, we're going to have a show in early July, and be sure to tune in here," and then they'll go over some of the stuff like Game Pass and stuff like that. But it's not going to be a big show.
Psychonaut.
Do you think they should do a show like even in the future that showcases all this tech coming to? Because like they've talked about it, but they haven't really showed it in the games. And
They
I
need
think
a round table, really. Kind of.
Yeah, that won't be like a big event thing. They should show that off to you, though. I'm with you. To somebody, tell somebody about your damn box shit. And showing us the stuff.
I want to see it, man.
But yeah, it's cool. I mean, they have delayed games like Infinite for graphical overhaul reasons. Even though a lot of people said the cross-gen was, I told y'all cross-gen. No, just the design, right? So it's one of those things where time is, need time and talent to build out detail. But yeah, I mean, again, Jeff, anything you want to say on this event coming up? Times, dates, exact locations?
I mean, yeah, this is the kind of thing. If you listen to that, the Game Mesh show, that you would know what's going to be here. This is going to no first party announcements. That stuff's being held off until summer.
None at all.
None at all. They don't have a lot. So the stuff they're holding on to is going to be held on to for summer. And they have a little bit more now that they have Bethesda, but yeah, none of that stuff's going to be at this thing. There probably will be some indie games. I'm holding out hope for the Gunk. I don't know if that's going to be there, but I hope it will be. I would love to see the Gunk.
It looked interesting.
Yeah, I love Image and Form. That's just one of my favorite developers. But that would be great. But it's going to be a lot of platitudes. It's going to be a lot of we believe in the cloud. Oh, we believe in services. Let's talk about what these services can mean for games and for developers.
Like the 2013
to explain. Yeah, to explain what this can mean for a developer, here is a small indie developer to talk about Game Pass in this way. It's going to be stuff like that, and then in June we will get they'll be rogue from E3. They are not going to sign up with the ESA. It sounds like but they will go for that time frame though. So, but yeah, that's their plan for through the summer at least.
Yeah.
Do you think? Can I ask a question? Do you think? What's your take on E3 moving forward? Let's skip this year. Let's just push it out. Next E3, what do you think is going to happen? Do you think it's over?
I think it's over because of incompetency. The people that are at the ESA right now just don't know what they're doing. And when they have people on board that kind of can figure these things out, like when they have Jeff Keighley, when they have the 8-bit art company, where I can't remember what their name is,
Right.
they scare them away. They want nothing to do with the ESA. So to me it just seems like it's over, and I maybe someone else will step in and fill that vacuum, but or maybe the ESA will make some smart hires or something, but I'm very skeptical on that side of things. So,
agreed.
But yeah, maybe someone steps into the gap there and fills it, and maybe it is Jeff Keighley, has the Game Awards summer or whatever, or something like that, and really actually locks it down. Shows. Yeah, but I think it's dead, and it's a shame.
Mm-hmm. Large gatherings too, I think are kind of going to be, at least for the next couple of years, not really encouraged.
Hey, well, I mean, we'll kind of jump onto this, and we'll we'll start to wrap it up here. But Xbox are wanting your ideas. Hopefully, they're offering compensation. But again, they're doing like a thing for share your ideas with Xbox insiders, right? And I've got a friend, randomly forgot her name. She's basically wanting Xbox polls on the Xbox Community Hub, the feed, right? You have polls for developers and get feedback right from the fans right on your Xbox, stuff like that. This is a perfect place to go and kind of find this out and look up these things that Xbox are doing now. So they're wanting you guys to go and offer your ideas. Tim, have you seen anything on this? Have you heard about it?
No, not really. Haven't heard anything. So, I don't know.
Okay, well, just
seem like they get their hands in the pot everywhere. They're doing a lot of things.
Yeah. Fan feedback, it's important to them. And you can find that post on the Xbox support page or Xbox support Twitter. They say it's like Shark Tank with none of the prototypes or presentations. Want to feature something like that, just basically offer them ideas. And you can go find that on Twitter. Zombie Zatanna. I think it's Zatanna. Yeah, that's her name. She had that idea I mentioned earlier. So again, shout out to everyone who came and watched us live, guys. You guys are amazing. And seriously, let us know your thoughts as we close the show on the comments after the show posts. You guys are, again, you make us what we are, one of the biggest podcasts in Xbox history, right? So we do appreciate it. A ton of super chats I didn't get to tonight, guys. I'm sorry. I always say that. Can't get to them all, and I won't be able to get to them all. But thank you. It does help. Hit the like button if you haven't. Share it out. And be sure and support these guys as they give you their information. Colt, what have you been playing, buddy? And where can people find you, man?
Oh man, I've been playing Prey like crazy. I really love that game a lot. I can't believe I gave it up before. So yeah, and Arcane's so great. I've also been playing a bunch of these boost mode games and some of these updated games. So it's pretty nice. I can really say at this point that I don't need to play 30 FPS stuff anymore if you didn't want to play on a PC. So I've really enjoyed it. So Xbox has been dominating the news, and it's been pretty fun to watch it and report on it and talk about it. And it's good having Jeff here on the show and talking all this stuff. I'm really appreciative.
I think it's time we make 30 frames illegal, huh, Colt?
Yeah. I mean, we've heard
someone do something.
Do something.
Come on.
It's out of control.
Give us a stimulus boost for the games.
Yeah.
Pick the box of stimulus boost
stimmy
box.
for games.
We've talked to developers that say there are some games where you can literally change one character in the code to unlock the frame rate. And then there's some games where you can just change some code to unlock it. There's some where they need to do optimization.
Bill Stillwell on the show is talking about how physics all that stuff can be linked and mess it up.
Yeah, and I don't know if many developers watch our show, but I would just like to say, hey, if you put in the work, I guarantee that the console gamers will go buy your game or jump in and boost engagement on your game. And if you missed the days
Patterson
when
at
everyone was
700%.
talking about, and if you missed the day, if you're a developer and you missed the days when everyone was talking about your game and sharing clips and talking about how fun it was, and you want to get that back again while you're working on your next thing, like put some people on your team and get that game unlocked on the console, and everyone will jump on their PlayStation 5s and Xbox Series consoles and revisit them and start talking about them, get excited about your work. So we tell you, it'll be worth it if you can put in the time.
And when they fix that DVR, we'll share clips too.
Well, you know what? The DVR's been working really well, except for sharing to Twitter sometimes. Just like, hey, we can't do that right now.
I noticed this HDR games like that do the dimming and stuff, right?
Yeah,
all that stuff. So, D-Batch.
I just want to say, in my personal opinion, I know I'm going to get hell for this, but I just don't think there should be any 30 frames per second games with the new consoles. Like, I understand that some of the stuff is like, I understand that some of the stuff is tied into the physics, whatever. But honestly, like, you don't have to shoot for 4K 60 in every game. Now, if you want your game with all the bells and whistles, that's fine. Have a 4K 30 mode. And also have like a 1440p or 1800p or whatever weird resolution you need to get to have a 60 frames per second option. But that should be mandatory now with these new consoles. There's no excuse for it with the much improved CPU that's inside of it. Like, come on, 30 frames per second is like PC hasn't done 30 frames per second.
We're fed up with 30 frames is what D-Batch is trying to say.
Yeah, people haven't done 30 frames per second like over 12 years. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah, it's definitely a thing. We've been saying this for years. But again, tell the people where they can find you, man. Like your hour-long rant videos of D-Batch and 30 frames on his channel. Where's that channel at and what have you been playing?
You can find me on YouTube at D-Batch. I should be putting up some videos this week. If not next week, I think I'll be back to normal. Work is going to settle down a little bit. You can find me on Twitch. You can find me on Twitter at D_Batch. Right now I'm basically just posting out when I see stock of pretty much everything, the GPUs, CPUs, the consoles. So if you're looking for any of those things, follow my Twitter, and you'll probably get lucky and get a couple of drops. I'm playing whenever I can Call of Duty, but like I said, it's kind of busy right now, so not a lot of time for games. It was a great show, and thanks for coming on, Jeff, and of course, great to be with the rest of the panel.
And tell the good people where your OnlyFans is.
My OnlyFans is Dr. Talk.
Okay, all right, let's go and move forward. Hey, Fonzarelli, shout out to you, brother. Where can people find you? What you've been playing, man?
You can find me at jfonzarelli on Twitter, and you can find me at Fonzarelli Gaming here on YouTube, making videos. Last one I made did pretty well. And I do have an opening skit that I do there. And it pokes fun at the fanboy, console war.
You need to do that more
often. Some people get upset, but I just want to say, when I do stuff like that, view my videos as sort of like SNL, like, Saturday Night Live type of humor. I'm not like all wrapped up into console wars at all. That's why names and stuff have been erased on that little skit, but it's funny. Okay. I find it humorous. People find it humorous, and it actually has a good ratio there. It actually has a really good ratio.
I told you right away when I saw it. I said, you got to do videos like that.
Yeah. We love it.
There will be more
it's
stuff.
Harmless
like
too. You're not feeding it. Like, I was just watching it when they had the Doc Rivers, like, you had all these comments.
Beetlejuice, I don't give a fuck.
Face. But no, really good job there. I had to say, really
appreciate
good.
it.
Just overall, did great.
Now DM him every other month, so you'll keep going.
Yeah, you can find me there at Fonzarelli Gaming. It was great to have Jeff Grubb here. Awesome to listen to you, man. You've been right about so many things, and it's good to have you on the show here. And you can find me there, guys, and that's about it.
Also, we have Failed Powermancer, who says he loves RDX. We've also got Zalk87, brother. Where can people find you, and what have you been playing?
Well, you guys can find me on YouTube, Zalker87, Twitter, Zalker87, and I've been playing a lot of games. Almost 1,000 out of 1,000, Dirt 5. I've been playing the Medium. That game's a lot of fun. Medium's awesome, man. Especially on the Series X, runs really well. And I've been playing Doom Eternal on PC because I beat it on the Xbox and I moved over to PC, and it runs. That's why I do that. Id Tech just got me all swooning over there. So yeah, a lot of games, a lot of fun. And they just dropped even more. I downloaded Skyrim on PC too from Xbox Game Pass and on console to see the differences and stuff, especially with the boost, and been playing that. So yeah, a lot of freaking games, and I'm loving it. And chat, thanks for coming on. Jeff Grubb, You're awesome, man. I hope we get you on here a lot more often. You fit well, you know.
You do, actually.
You mesh well, dude, man. Mesh well with us, and cool guy, and you know, it's all good. And the next time, next time you're on, we'll have Tim Dog give you another back rub, you know, get you all ready to go, and there you go.
Gosh,
we'll take you into the DMs, Tim. Don't worry.
If he offers you a pillow, you're Jim Ryan. Jesus Christ. Hey, we've also got to give Tim Dog a shout out. Where can people find you, buddy? What have you been playing?
Find me on Twitter, xCloud Tim Dog. I've been playing Little Nightmares 2. Almost finished with that.
Good game.
Yeah, it's a good game, and I want to get back to Doom Eternal. Halfway through that.
Doom Eternal.
I'm having a problem. I remember getting past the traversal part or whatever platforming part, but that game is definitely tough. But yeah, real pleasure to have Jeff here. A great show, and we'll do it next week.
Yes. Did I get everybody? I think I got everybody right. Jeff.
Well, Jeff.
I'm kidding. Jeff, tell people where they can find you, buddy, and what have you been playing, man?
Yeah. I've been playing Loop Hero. If no one's tried it, it's on PC, it's on Steam. It's hard to explain, so I'm not going to go too deep into it. But it's almost like an idle game, but there's a lot of stuff involved in trying to lay out the map. You get cards, you put stuff on the map, and as you put those cards down on the map, things change. The cards themselves change. It's really addictive. I can't stop playing it. It's fantastic, but it is difficult to actually get into verbally. So I'll spare everyone. And I already
Devolver, right? Or 4 quarters or something like that.
Yeah, Devolver's the publisher. If you've jived with any Devolver stuff in the past, I think it's worth at least kind of glancing at. But maybe watch a gameplay video to see if someone can walk you through it to see if it's for you. It's $15, and I think for most people it's probably going to be worth it. It's the kind of thing where if you ever like lost yourself to like Cookie Clicker or anything like that, you'll definitely probably vibe with this, I think. And I already went over where most people could find me, so I'm not going to repeat myself. Just get me on Twitter @JeffGrubb. I tweet way too much, so don't follow me, but you should definitely just like, if you were looking for my stuff, go check my stuff out there on the website. But don't click that follow button; you will regret it.
No,
so,
follow them. Just turn notifications off for them.
Yeah, there you go. Yes, definitely do that.
And then block them. And then refollow.
Also,
yes.
Refollow.
Also, another game that got announced today that I saw, well, not announced, but shown, Dark Alliance, the Dungeons and Dragon, where you play as Drist and all that. Everybody check that game out. I don't care. I've been reading the book since I was a kid. Those characters are awesome. The world is awesome, and it actually looks like a AAA game. So
I was going to say, how far did you get in the book since you've been a kid? You're like on page 7.
There's like 37 books. I think.
Damn.
Yeah, I've read all of them, but I'm going back and reading them again.
Well, when's that come out? You said
it comes out June 22nd, and it's a 4-player co-op game. It looks like a what you call it, World War Z. Like it looks like that, but it's like in the fantasy world with the gear and all that stuff. Dude, it looks cool.
When the hell's that damn dinosaur game come out? That second?
I don't know, but I want to play all these co-op games, man.
Oh, that metal dinosaur and robot.
Metal? No, it's regular dinosaur spawns. Jeez.
Oh, regular dinosaurs. Yeah. I don't know what you're talking about then.
Yeah, Second Extinction. Yeah.
When's that come out? No, I know.
I don't know. It was supposed to be out toward the end of last year. And
I thought that was the game that we would get with the review console or whatever.
It's a game preview game. When we get it, it'll be on Game Pass, but other people can buy it for probably $20 on Game Preview, and then I think that's a game preview game.
Well, yeah, that one looked like one of those kind of...
Who makes that one?
No idea. Hey, shout out to KY Bob real quick. He says, shout out to the world's largest Xbox blog. We're up there. And to Jeff Grubb, thanks for coming on. Yes, shout out to you, Bob. Shout out to Daredevil. Shout out to PlayStation Slave. I wonder what you prefer. We also got Swan 931. We've also got Chaos Mite. Shout out to you, brother. It's another super chat. I'm just reading off some names because I feel like a piece of shit. Psychonauts. Gaz. Shout out to them. Man.
Shout out to Randall Thor.
Shout out to Randall Thor.
The man with the million.
The man with the million. Shout out to Zeal.
Don't you love it when somebody named PlayStation Slave calls it, this is a fanboy podcast. got a picture of the PlayStation logo, PlayStation Slave. He's got a PlayStation hat.
Yeah. So like he could have like literally his wrist in shackles with a PlayStation logo stamped on the shackle, like anything. Like it doesn't matter.
You're a shill.
If you don't watch, you don't know. If you know, you'll probably watch. And we'd like to have fun, but gotta be entertained somehow. But yeah, we all like PlayStation games. We've been asking Microsoft to kind of bring us some kind of like them. So again, they seem to be doing that. Bethesda's a big deal, and they've got a ton of first parties. Like the ones that have been there forever. Those guys are also making games. Just in case some forgot, there's a lot of good stuff coming.
Hopefully, in the future, they'll be making some games with id Tech.
Maybe they'll be making some games with Rumble Trigger support. That'd be great. No, seriously,
I turned adaptive triggers off on my.
That's different. Those things push back against you. I'm like, stop fighting me. But yeah, seriously, chat. Thanks for joining us. Let us know your thoughts. Hit the like button, share with a buddy, subscribe, hit the bell icon, follow these guys, make me a sandwich. We're gonna get out of here.
It's a wrap.
That's perfect.
Oh my God.